Last. Woo! It's live. All right. So now I just gotta send out these emails. I'll have. Let's see. I think I have. Hold on. Come in. What? Ugh. All right. Let's see. Just gonna see comments. Hey everybody. Hey, it's actually the delay isn't as bad as it used to be. That's a very that's there's not much of a delay at all. All right, so I'm gonna send out these invites. So give me a second on that. I'm very sick. I've got a cold. Right. Copy. Just gonna type this up, so be patient with me. Yeah, sorry, I just need to type this up so I can send the thing. So the link for that is here. Hey everybody. I broke your heart from last month's hangout. I don't know what you mean. Because you couldn't get in or something. I'm about to send the invites. So I don't know what you're talking about. There's the link right there. If we reach the maximum number of participants in the keep trying the link, as people often drop out, or as people come and go. So then feel free to join in the second link. Well, in the meantime, where there is an unlimited amount of watchers and participation in the comments. Thank you. All right, now I'll copy and paste this message to everybody that part of the $10 thing, and everybody that donated some stuff. All right. my name at the end. Ugh, I'm so sick. How did this happen? I'm really sick and I've got Hotline Bling stuck in my head. Call me on the cell phone. I've got like 2.5 hours of sleep. There we go. That one. Right. And just sending this one. Will be done very soon. Just gonna send it, send it to the Patreon thing, and then that's it. Okay. Patron manager. There we go. And then yeah, I'll send it to everybody who supported for December. All $10 reward, all patrons, blah blah blah. And this list has gotten bigger, which is awesome. All right. Yeah, I'll send a message now. There we go. Just sent. And I guess just for people that like decided they wanted to donate, but it hasn't gone through yet, I'll just do it for my current patrons also. There we go. Because I mean, they'll be charged in like a couple days anyway. There we go. All right, guys. Now I'm going to pay attention to the comments. I know I wasn't before, but Hoagie Man is definitely spelt wrong. That's definitely not how you spell Hoagie Man if that's what you were trying to spell, but it's awesome that you decided to do that. Stream broke. I don't know what you're talking about. Five out of 10 for the Martian. Give me a second. Can I check my Facebook? I don't really have the money planning or infrastructure right now to be hiring someone to check all my messages for me, and so that means that I check my own messages. And for something like Facebook, I go through the Facebook messages once every like 6 months or something. So Facebook isn't the best place to send me messages. And now even on Reddit, I go through those like once every like week or two now because I'm coordinating all the people that are doing subtitles for me again. And that's a lot of coordination. And so, oh hey, someone's in the call.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. New apartment,
Good.
I'm guessing.
It's not an apartment, but
Oh,
yes,
my bad.
a new place to live. And I am sick, very sick, which means
Mm.
that I haven't been able to do. I know that probably sounds really gross. Sorry, I haven't been able to do my Unfriended review for the past like 5 days because I'm at the point where I've edited everything I can other than so if I'm gonna edit something, I need the the voiceover files to work from. I need to be able to like edit over top of my voiceover. But right now I've edited everything I can until I have to record more voiceover. And with this particular review, it's a lot of yelling, and my throat is very, very sore for being sick. Hello, Miles. We've got two
Hi,
people here. How's it going?
I'm good. It's 5 o'clock in the morning where I
Oh
am, so
shit.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel you. I'm sick, and I only slept like 2 or 3 hours. I
The,
completely ruined my sleep schedule
mm,
again, and once I'm sick, there's like no way to fix it at all.
yeah. The
But
thing is, I've been
usually,
trying to go.
what?
I've trying to go. You go.
Yeah, yeah, you go.
Uh, well, the thing is, I've been trying to come to these for like the past like 2 months, but it's just so early. It's like 5,
I'm
and I've been
sorry.
doing work. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
But
it's
I was doing homework anyway, so I was like, I might as well join.
it's difficult. I don't know. It's difficult to find a time where like, especially globally, it's
Yeah.
good for everybody. I don't think such a time exists, honestly. I had the thought the other day, like, there's I would probably be sleeping right now if I didn't wake up from my alarm just because of how ridiculous my sleep schedule it is. And it winds up keep happening where I just I keep ruining it to the point where I'm like falling asleep at 8 in the morning and then waking up in the evening.
Mm,
And I realized the other day that like I think the most common time for me to be awake at any point in the day is midnight.
mm,
Even if I screw up my sleep, I'm somehow awake at midnight. I'm either awake past midnight or awake before midnight. I don't think I ever fall asleep through midnight really that often, which
mm,
is weird. Like it seems like a normal sleep schedule, but it's just not, you
mm.
know.
It's weird. Like in the school I go to, I don't know if you've heard of PwC. It's in Singapore. It's basically on the other side of the globe. But
Hmm.
the work that we have is ridiculous. I've been staying up for the past 2 months at like 12 o'clock in the morning, and I've been tired. It's just a repeating cycle, and oh my god,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's difficult to fix that.
yeah. And it's fun being the only black guy in Singapore. So
The only one.
yeah. I mean, it's funny. The only other black people in Singapore are like scholars, so like people who are from like places like Uganda, Tanzania.
Oh
So
yeah,
usually I get the question like, "Oh, so which part of Africa are you from?" And I'm like, "Oh, no, no,
funny.
I'm from England, mate." And he's like, "Oh, are you sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure." He's like, "Oh, okay," and then you just walk
You
away
want
because
to
I'm not
double check?
interested. Yeah, exactly. It just makes no sense.
No,
Yeah, and then
I think I'm right on this one.
yeah, yeah, people are crazy, but I love it. People take pictures of me, families take pictures of me, so I feel like a
I heard
celebrity.
that happens a lot in like uh Asian countries
Mm,
where I think that that would even actually happen to me if I went to like Japan. I think I would be so tall compared to everybody
mm,
there and my long hair also that people would just take pictures of me.
mm.
I would literally just get out of the plane and people would be yelling Godzilla and
But
it'd
yeah,
be a
if
big
you're
spectacle.
usually if you're white, blonde, and blue-eyed, most likely someone will want to take a picture of you. So
Yeah. Yeah, I don't
you're
have the blue
blonde,
eyes.
so yeah. But I mean, yeah, I love
People are
it.
asking where Mark is, and he is getting me some noodle soup, and he may or may not return with noodle soup, uh, because we're trying to find out if the place will let us do takeout. So he decided to go out and get it, and he'll be back. So yeah, if you guys don't already know in the Hangout call, this is being broadcast to my vlog channel. I know it said that in the message. I guess some people don't like read the messages sometimes. But yeah, it's I've been doing that the past however many hangouts because it's a good way to circumvent the limitations of the Google Hangout. Before we ran into some issues where like people would show up and there would only be 10 maximum people in the Hangout, and then I'd feel really bad at people that would try to show up and paid $10 to show up but couldn't get in. So this way, if we do hit the 10-person cap, then I can still hang out with them in the comments and they get to watch it, and I'll respond to them maybe in the comments also. And plus, I can just hang out and watch it and keep refreshing and wait for somebody else to leave, if that's the case. There hasn't been that many times where where it's hit the maximum, but it just makes more sense.
Up.
Oh,
But
just out of curiosity, I'm looking at universities, right? Film, so I want to be a director when I'm old, or something to do in the film area. Are there any universities you recommend? Because right now I'm looking at like Tisch, London Met School, Bristol. Are there any
what
other?
you want to do film-wise? Because I live in Vancouver, and there's a really good film school here, literally just called Vancouver Film School, and I know they have a really good like computer animation department. Neil Blomkamp of District 9 graduated from Vancouver Film School, and I know they have a good like acting department. But in terms of what you would want out of film school, if you're looking for a course in like directing, then you're not only probably not going to find it in Vancouver Film School. Like if you go for a general film course, you're going to learn a lot of technical aspects of filmmaking. Like you're going to come out of it and you're going to know how to operate like lighting and a boom mic and all that stuff. And then I mean, those are useful skills, but they're certainly not worth like tens of thousands of dollars to learn, and they're certainly not going to get you anywhere if you're looking to direct. What I would try to keep in mind if directing is what you would want to be doing is that when it comes to post-secondary, like universities, there aren't a lot of places that would offer any sort of creative teachings in a sense. I've known too many people that will go into a course that's at heart like an art course, like a music course or like a film course, and they'll come out of it and they'll be like, wow, I already knew most of that, but now I have a certificate, like now I have a degree. Like my brother and a few friends went into some music courses and they're like, great, I have a bit of knowledge and I have this degree, but now I'm in debt for this course when I could have spent that money making art, when I could have spent that money making an album. And in the same sense, you want to make sure that you don't waste your money on a course being taught things that you might already know, when you could use that money, when you could take out a loan to just say fuck it and make a short film. Most of what you could learn, you could probably already learn on YouTube in the first place. So don't get stuck with the idea that a school or university is going to teach you, I guess, some sort of like it's not going to be able to teach you tone. It's not going to be able to teach you pacing. It's not going to be able to teach you like the general flow of what you would want out of your own art. It's not going to be able to teach you like the personality of what you would want to show. I feel like the best way to learn something is to do it hands-on, and I feel like creating short films is the best way to learn how to make films in general. Is just trial and error, start small, and experience is going to be the best that you can get.
I feel like our school is okay when it comes to the film department. We have like tracks, so like we can actually make like good tracking shots. About we have 100 meters worth of track, so it's pretty good. So I guess, if I really want to after this, I could just go on my own. I was thinking of taking a gap year, just going nomad and just traveling the world, see what happens.
Yeah, I would just say just be careful that that you're not getting into debt over something that you regret not putting your money elsewhere. Because I just know a lot of people that have done that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Forgettable. Somebody in the comments is asking if they can ask me something. It's kind of a redundant question. Because you just did. So, Hail Caesar's coming out soon. That's like the only movie really that is in theaters soon that I might be seeing, other than Deadpool, which I keep going back and forth because at first I was like I don't want to see it, and then I was like, well, rated R, so I want to see it. And then I saw some of the trailers that came out, and I'm like, this isn't really funny, so I didn't want to see it. And then I thought, well, if this can if this can encourage Marvel to, or any giant studios to say, well, maybe it would be worth it to have more R-rated films and not everything needs to be PG-13. If my ticket will financially encourage them, then maybe I want to see it. And now I learned that there's a director's cut coming out at some point. So the whole point of me like wanting to see the R-rated movie would have been to see something that wasn't like incredibly studio influenced, where the director had his say in something and there was no real censorship. And now it's like a director's cut, but that means okay, then that means that the cut that I'll see in theaters is a censored version, whether or not it's artistically censored or graphically censored. The fact that you're saying that there's a director's cut means that what I'll be seeing isn't what the director wanted to make. If a director's cut comes out later, then so now I'm a bit torn.
I don't know. It's also the thing is I probably won't be able to see it because Singapore has really, really strict censorship.
Yeah,
like anything,
it's not the best place for movies.
anything. I try to like if you watch Glee. I don't watch Glee, but if you watch Glee in Singapore, like the editing, you know how they have like gay people in it, right?
Oh, they kind of like dance.
So basically, if they go in for a kiss, it edited so it's like when they come out, they just kind of just go towards each other and come out. That's basically what it looks like. That's how heavily edited it is. So
I want to see that uploaded to YouTube.
So yeah, so basically anything that's gay, sexually like crazy is banned, but anything with guns is not. So it's really, really, really weird split they have. But
yeah, it's kind of funny.
And also, I probably won't be able to see it. I don't think I look 18, so I'll probably have to wait.
I used to sneak into movies.
Do you have ID to use?
Do I? No. It's really difficult to get like anything illegal in Singapore. Like drugs, like if you're caught with like 0.5 milligram of drugs, it's like 10 years in prison, and they cane you.
I won't get too into it since you are being like publicly broadcast, but I will mention that there was a kid online that like after what's his face died.
Oh yeah. Oh, Ali. On you. Yeah. Oh yeah. Everyone.
And I found it very interesting. This kid that like went to jail or prison over just making a really offensive video, basically about the government. And he was like, I don't know, 17 years old or younger. And so I went through his channel and looked through a bunch of his videos, and he's not like the smartest guy, but what I found really interesting is that he was he mentioned on his channel being subscribed to me and the Amazing Atheist.
I saw I saw that when it happened. I think you retweeted it, and he was like,
well, yeah, it was like
he was like an atheist, wasn't he? Like he was making all his atheist videos.
Yeah, he made videos that like as soon as you know that he's a subscriber of the Amazing Atheist, then you're like, oh. He makes videos that are very similar to like older Amazing Atheist videos.
Yeah.
It's just like almost just trying to be offensive to get attention, but at the same
I
time
like-
also trying to be like political.
I checked out the video that like got him locked up or whatever, and it like the dislike to like ratio was higher than another video with a dislike to like ratio, which was just like a guy saying, "Here's why I'm president. You know something's wrong in America when homosexuals are allowed to join the army." And
Oh,
then
yeah,
it's
Rick
just 30
Perry.
seconds of that. Yeah, yeah.
No, Rick Perry's funny. That was a funny video. That was when he was like running for president.
Yeah.
He thought that would be like a good ad to put
Who?
online. Where
Who?
he's like, there's like, you cannot, where gays can serve openly in the military, but kids can't pray in schools. But it's like, that's a lie. That's not even, like, nobody believes that. Nobody believes that, well, I mean, small town America might believe it, but
Yeah.
Is
That's
anyone here?
not in reality.
Is anyone here from America? No one's here from
Yeah,
America.
you know what? I have a very large American watch base, viewer base, 50% American. But my Hangouts are always filled with like people from the UK and all around, and
yeah.
barely ever any Americans.
Mhm.
They're really
I don't-
it's a very disproportionate number.
Do you have a lot of European like viewers?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually I can go to my analytics right now and let's see if I can find find that info.
How's your new house?
Sorry. Oh, it's great, although it's been a lot of work.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
So that
basically,
you had a leak, didn't you?
sorry, what?
You had a leak in your roof or something. Like,
Yeah, like twice.
yeah.
So the one leak happened that was from like an old part in a pipe or something.
Yeah.
And that was leaking through the house for like weeks before it even became noticeable. And so we had to like cut open the roof and the plumber or I guess he was a plumber. Like cut open the roof and then all this water like fell out and we had to get a bucket and then it was basically a drip from like upstairs that was not even it was a very small drip. So it was dripping over a very long period of time. And we found out that it was coming from like behind the shower handle to my bathroom. So anyway, so there was that, and now there's a leak where it comes from like I guess there's a hole in the roof, and that one I sent out a tweet about that like I guess a few days ago now.
Yeah.
You can kind of see how
Yeah. The video.
yeah, you can kind of
Yeah.
that thing.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
But at least now it's in the sink, and now we don't have to worry about it because it only leaks when it rains because it's from the outside. But yeah, the previous tenants really just treated this place like shit. I don't know.
Yeah, did you get it cheap? Because, like, you said that it took shit tons of work.
Well, for the the size and location and how new the house is, yes, we did get it
Yeah.
pretty cheap.
Yeah.
It's more expensive than my last place, but I mean, I wasn't paying very much at my last place at all anyway. So basically, I mean,
But-
I'm living with 3 other roommates, and I'm paying less than I would be paying if I had like a studio apartment to myself.
Mhm.
But this way, I actually get a pretty sweet place. So we'll see more footage of it like on my vlog channel and stuff.
Yeah.
And plus,
Cool.
I've got like hours and hours worth of video that I recorded on my phone of like cleaning the place and doing all these repairs on it. What sucks about it is like, even though I knew that a couple things needed to be fixed up, we didn't know that the place would be left like a pigsty when we didn't know that we would actually have to clean everything because the entire the previous tenants are our landlords, and our landlords were supposed to move out like a week before we moved in. And so we showed up with this big moving truck of all of our shit, and we literally just like show up with it when we're supposed to, at the end of the month,
Yeah.
and they're still getting their stuff out. Like they're still literally just like getting their shit out the door as we're there, and we're like, what? And when we go inside, and there's like it hasn't been cleaned at all, and they were massive fucking hoarders. They were.
They sound like fucking scumbags. Did you
If you've
like have
ever
a look?
seen like a hoarder show
Yeah.
on
You
some
like that?
stupid TLC bullshit,
Yeah.
it was around that level of just like why? Like you clearly don't use any of this shit because it's impossible to get at because it's covered by so much other shit. So why do you have it? And yeah, when we were checking out the place to like rent it, like before we signed the lease and everything, like there was clutter everywhere, but it was kind of like the property is so good that we like it. We just wanted it anyway, right? Like we
Yeah. Yeah.
assumed like okay, well there's clutter here, but the clutter is gonna be gone, right?
Yeah.
And so then, yeah, it was very frustrating. It was very frustrating. And plus, like, yeah, there were just random things wrong with the house that needed to be fixed. Like, I fixed the door. I fixed 2 doors in this house. Fuck. There's a lot of, pretty much everything that was wrong with it was just like,
Is it like the money pit?
they were lazy as shit. They were the laziest fucking people on the planet. Just things like, there were so many like stains on the walls of just like how did this happen? Like, did you just run down the stairs and spray coffee out your mouth? Anyway, so yeah, we cleaned up a lot of that shit, and oh yeah, what sucked about that is like, um, we had all of our shit there, and we didn't have time to clean anything. It's like, okay, well, they were getting their shit out, so we just moved all of our shit into the big main room on the main floor. Um, and we have a lot of shit because we're 4 people,
Yeah.
and so all of the rooms in this house are on the top floor, like all the bedrooms. And so we couldn't get any of our shit into our bedrooms because the landlord was like, "Well, yeah, they got to do the carpet cleaning upstairs, and that's happening like 2 days from now." I'm like, "What?" And so yeah, the carpet cleaners came over like I think either the next day or the day after. So I slept in the kitchen on the first night,
Wow.
and yeah, and then after they cleaned the carpets, like we had to wait for them to dry. So I have a box spring mattress, so I
Yeah.
didn't have anything on like legs or anything, so I didn't want it to soak into there. So
Wow.
yeah, I spent the first few nights like sleeping in the kitchen.
Did you just think to
Um,
yourself like, all artists suffer, so hopefully I'm
Well,
getting...
yeah, and yeah, it's worth it in the long run because
Yeah.
we've got a really amazing place that comparatively is not really expensive.
Yeah.
It's very affordable for 4 people. Um,
Sounds like
and
a...
yes, I am sick. In the comments, somebody's asking. I'm very sick.
Yeah, you sound
Um,
pretty groggy. Well,
I sound fantastic.
everyone's got a cold, I think. That time of year.
Yeah, everybody's sick right now. It's just
Mm.
it's just the time of year.
Hey, have you seen The Hateful Eight?
Yes, and
I
I just didn't feel like making a quickie on it.
Fair enough.
wait. Do you see the 70 millimeter or the?
You know what? I did, but I didn't really see it on a giant screen. There was one theater in Vancouver that was playing it on 70 millimeter projection, and the screen wasn't that big. Like it wasn't even like a regular Cineplex screen, like AVX or whatever would have been bigger. So I don't know. I saw it in 70 millimeter.
Did it make a
I'm
difference?
not sure that I got everything that I was supposed to get out of it by seeing it in 70 millimeter because the screen was not big at all. Like it wasn't a, I don't know, it was just a regular sized movie screen.
Isn't
So,
like saying it was in 70mm, isn't that just for like nerds with cream over? Really? Like, I saw it and I was like, I know it could have been filmed on like digital cameras. I don't, you know.
See, I'm trying to chalk it up to like the size of the screen. I don't think I'll ever really be able to make a comparison like that.
Well, I
Um,
mean, uh, Jack, I saw Hateful Eight in like 70mm and in digital, and there's like a big
Is it?
70mm is like a lot sharper. If you like
yeah.
sit all the way up front, you can see like all the detail, everything. Digital is like a little more grainy, so it's a little more.
Oh, okay. All right.
I
Well,
feel like we're so close to having digital projection that would match it that like
Yeah.
it's kind of irrelevant at this point. I feel like if based on the size of like on the average screen, if it's not like a big IMAX screen anyway, I think that if we had like 4K projectors going,
mhm,
then it would probably
yeah.
like be fine anyway.
Yeah, there's like little things like that that annoys me. Like J.J. Abrams made such a huge deal about shooting Force Awakens on 35mm, but I saw it on an IMAX screen and it looked fucking blurry because
Yeah.
like it's not, you know, it's stretched
Um,
out so much.
That would have been so horrible to see.
Someone's asking what I think of 6 Feet Under. It's like my favorite show, I think, but I
We
don't
talked
know
about
right now because
that.
I
Wow.
haven't seen it in a long time because I've been waiting for a Blu-ray. That
But
is
anyway,
gonna
what would
happen.
you?
I'm gonna watch the show again, and then the Blu-ray is gonna be announced like right after I finish it. That's what's gonna happen. I can tell right now. I'm very upset that there's no Blu-ray for that show.
What did you think of the 8 anyway? Like out of 10?
I would give it an 8, and that's not really a joke. That's my genuine my
8 out of
genuine
8.
thing.
Yeah,
Um,
that's fair enough. I thought it was.
yeah,
I actually liked it a lot more than his more recent films. I liked it more than
me too. I liked it a lot more than Inglorious Bastards and Django.
Yeah, like
I
when.
thought that it was much better of a movie.
Yeah, I think it's probably just about as good as Jackie Brown was or could have been, maybe. I don't know. Because I think Jackie Brown is
Not
like
as
his
good
third
as
best one.
something could have been.
Yeah, I don't know.
Kind of funny.
Yeah,
Like, does anyone like in the comments or anything care if we talk about spoilers, or should we just stay clear of it?
Prefer to keep,
uh,
well, I would prefer to keep these kind of conversations spoiler free.
yeah,
Okay.
But I mean, the we can be vague about it without
Okay.
like without. I can't think of anything that I would really want to say about the Hateful Eight. Um, that would spoil anything. Although I being as vague as possible, and if you want, I can totally answer this in a message later if you really need. But I found like the character logic near the end, like near the pretty much the very end, was like really off. I feel like I enjoyed the first 90% of the movie a lot more than I enjoyed the last 10% of the movie. I feel like the type of movie that I didn't really care for when he made Inglorious Bastards and Inglorious Bastards and Django. I think that the last bit of Hateful Eight kind of turned into that when it
yeah,
was something completely different beforehand, and I was enjoying it a lot because it was so different and because it wasn't the same thing he had just made again. And
yeah,
then the
yeah.
end of it, like without saying anything, the end of it just kind of turned into that thing again, and I was like, oh,
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from in that. Like, I expected it to be like, I mean, well, I don't know if I expected anything that different because it's Tarantino, and you can't really tell where he's gonna go. But like, I thought, yeah, the character logic was, yeah, a little bit off. But you know, I didn't. For me, it didn't take away from the film that much. Yeah.
hello, new people, hello, Robert.
Hey,
How are you
Adam.
doing? I'm very sick. Got a bad cold. I haven't been this sick in a long time. I don't get this sick at all.
Are you sick just because it's winter in Canada, or is it cold, or just?
The place that I live in Canada doesn't actually get that cold at all. Well, to me, everybody else like whenever I talk about that to like anybody else that lives in warmer climates, they always say like, "Oh, what are you talking about? That's so cold."
It's 80 degrees here today.
Well, I don't even do Fahrenheit, okay?
Okay.
Yay, Celsius, boys.
As the resident American,
You are the only
In
one.
Singapore, there isn't even winter. It's always summer. I spent Christmas on the beach.
Let's see what 80 degrees.
27 degrees.
Oh, 27 degrees Celsius?
Yes.
Jeez, that's hot as fuck.
Warm or cold for you?
That's
It's
like
really
the-
fucking hot for winter.
Yeah.
If it was at any other time during the year, it'd be nice.
It's
But
full
like,
over here.
Okay, let's see. I
ugh.
don't even know what temperature it is where I am right now.
27 Fahrenheit is shit, not Fahrenheit. 27 Celsius is 80 Fahrenheit.
Apparently it's 6 degrees Celsius right now, or 43 degrees Fahrenheit where I am. And I have my fan on, and I'm kind of warm.
4 degrees now.
But yeah, I've got my Canadian blood.
Hey. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sick. I don't know. I'm sick just because there's crap going around, and it's a very condensed, populated city. And
Yeah.
colds and shit just always manage to get around. I take like vitamin C and other kind of health supplements and cold effects all the time just to try and be preventative about being sick, and it works for the most part. I don't get sick that often, but for what I mean, you can't avoid it forever.
You're only human.
Sorry?
That you're only human.
I don't even hear what you said.
Insofar as you identify as being human.
What? I'm missing. I'm not understanding anything that you said.
Sorry. I said you're only human.
Oh. Okay.
Insofar as you identify as being human.
Yes.
Sorry. What, are you gonna do like a thoughts on the Artsy video or something?
Oh.
But like, not like specifically about what's been going on recently, just in general. Or are you gonna do about what's happening now is retarded?
Maybe. I don't know.
I think that'd be pretty good.
Yeah, we'll see. Because I'm kind of like the Oscars are gonna happen in what, like, when is the Oscars? Is it this
Oh, no.
February? or March?
February 24th or something.
Okay. I should mark that
28th.
on my calendar.
Yes.
Hosted by Chris Rock, because if there's anyone to host the Oscars, it's
Wait, really?
Yep,
Yeah.
the star of Grown Ups 2, and some other shit that I'm forgetting.
He also did Everybody Hates Chris. That's pretty great.
Media.
Or maybe it's just because I am black and I just automatically appeal to it. I don't know.
Yeah, I never actually really watched the show, but it had good reviews, I think.
It's an alright
I've
show.
maybe done my Unfriended thing before the Oscars happen, assuming that I'm not still sick by then. But then if I am, that would mean that I probably have AIDS or something. So I'll finish up my Unfriended thing, and then maybe if it makes sense, I'll do an Oscars kind of video. But I feel like if I was gonna comment on the recent controversies, that I've kind of already missed the opportune time to talk about that stuff. So, I don't know. I'll be watching the Oscars, I think.
Everyone in the chat, what?
Everyone in the chat, what?
Everyone in the chat wants to know what you think of Age of Ultron.
Yeah, because I rated it like a 2 on IMDb recently, and everybody stalks my IMDb rating. So whenever I rate a movie, if it's a popular movie or something.
He's not lower than Megan.
Oh, now you need to elaborate your thoughts. So I was, what was I doing? I was cleaning the house and like putting up posters and doing a bunch of like general stuff to try and get the house in order. And I think Mark was editing, and he had just put on like he was just putting on some background stuff while he was editing in the like TV room, and he had Netflix on, and Age of Ultron was on Netflix, so he put it on, and it was just the most ridiculous, stupid thing. And I didn't watch like the whole thing, but it was just really trash and poorly acted and nonsensical and stupid, and it was just ridiculous. It was really,
I
really
saw it in
bad.
cinema, and I was bored like halfway through.
There's
Glad I didn't
one.
watch it in theaters.
There's one fucking hilarious, unintentionally funny scene where like Mark Ruffalo gets out of the shower, and wait, no, it was Scarlett Johansson is like out of the shower, and Mark Ruffalo comes up, and he's just like, "Oh, I should have joined you." And then there's like this whole like it's so forced, like this romantic dialogue that they have to do, and it's like you can see that they're just, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm really so I'm doing my 2014 list, and a movie that came out in 2014 was Captain America: Winter Soldier. So that, along with the fact that so the Captain America 3 is gonna have Black Panther in it. So if I want to see Black Panther, then I have to see that movie, I guess. So now it's like if I have to see Captain America 3 to see Black Panther, then I guess I have to see the first two Captain Americas. And now I'm just like I'm already just so fed up with the inevitable
Hype.
the inevitable mess of Marvel movies that you have to watch just to have context to what you actually want to watch. Like you can't just watch one of the movies. You have to just be like like watch everything just to get the context of what the fuck is going on. And so it's very frustrating, and I haven't seen any of the Captain America movies yet, but they look really
Don't
bad, and I'm not
Don't watch
excited
the
for
first
them.
one.
Sorry?
Don't watch the first one because that is really bad.
Well,
You don't
but,
really.
I mean,
Right.
isn't the first one going to be like an origin story kind of Captain
It is an
America?
origin story, but who gives a shit about the origin of Captain
Then
America?
how can I watch the second one if I
Because
don't
it's a,
know who Captain America is?
It's Wikipedia, it, man. You don't need to watch it. Don't put yourself through that.
he's Captain Aryan. Come on. He's like Mr. Fucking.
I mean, I think it's important for you to watch, but that's just because I am American and Captain America is my spirit animal.
I thought Donald Trump was your spirit animal.
What
No,
would
Donald Trump is my
Captain
best
Canada
friend.
do?
I'm your president.
Captain Canada. Just go up and
Captain
attack people with beavers. Be dressed in like a full-on Mountie suit.
Yeah. Riding a moose majestically.
I think there are a Canadian-themed superhero.
So Mark just brought me that soup, so it turns out that they did let him do it as takeout. However, I'm gonna need to get a big bowl to put it in because it's in like a couple different bowls. So I'll be right back, and then Mark's here. Mark, do you want me to like fix yours up too? Like put stuff in it? Okay. So yeah, you just come here and talk to people. Okay, sweet. Actually got.
Okay, shout out to the OAO. He wants
hi,
to
Mark.
shout out to that guy.
Hey guys, it's your
What?
number 2 choice.
Oh, that reminds me. Tommy Wiseau is going to be here in Dallas.
Where?
Mark coming in reminds me that Tommy Wiseau is going to be here in Dallas to promote a screening of The Room.
What a piece
Okay.
of shit. He
That's
never
pretty
came
cool.
to Vancouver.
I'm fucking psyched.
I've not seen The Room.
What
You
have
haven't seen
done?
The Room?
I've not seen The Room. I've seen all the things about The Room, so I don't feel like I need to see it. You know.
You should watch it, but don't watch it by yourself.
Yeah, should I watch it drunk with friends?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch it drunk with a bunch of strangers and Tommy Wiseau.
Just
That's,
make
that sounds pretty good. Does he get the irony, or does he still think he's a genius?
I can only assume that at this point he does. It's
I
been
don't think he gives a
13
shit,
years.
does he? I wouldn't give a shit. If I made a shit
You guys want to talk about Hiroshima?
$3.
I
Hiroshima.
would love to talk about
Okay,
Hiroshima.
okay,
That's my
First of all,
favorite anime.
White privilege, for one. Let's start there. And then let's work down the shit list. Starting with white privilege. You should all feel ashamed of yourselves. Except for
I
you,
have
Bill. Sorry. It's, what have you guys been talking about apart from Hiroshima?
Like, we had a brief discussion on the Oscars.
Oh,
Yeah. That's white privilege now, if ever I've seen it.
Okay, I see we've already gone over that.
Yeah.
WP. Yeah, I guess that's kind of fucked. Anybody, like, what's everybody's kind of pick for Best Picture?
Haven't seen all of the good films, so I don't know.
What? Go ahead.
I want The Revenant to win, but I kind of have a feeling Alejandro is going to get fucked over because he won last year. So,
And that should be a thing, but you're probably right. That's it should just be based on what's best, but never really.
Oh, really?
It's Then again, I feel like the best film of the year in its category isn't gonna win either.
What's that?
Best foreign film, which will be Son of Saul.
I'm not
I didn't think it's
well,
nominated.
what's Son of Saul up against? I mean,
Yeah, some stupid French film, I think.
Fuck the French.
I know. They just have to throw in their hat every year. It's just like this weird French obligation. Like
Yeah.
a weird artsy film, and then somebody goes, "Oh, well, I guess we have to."
Well, it's French, so come on.
Yeah, they just don't want the French to complain. So like it's just like it's a bargaining chip really that the French use.
Is it because of Cannes?
Yeah, like we gave them Can. We gave them Can. And, and that wasn't good enough. Now they're trying to take back ours, which is the Oscars, and can't let them have it. Son of Saul definitely was like the best film this year. Actually, when I watched The Revenant, all I was thinking was that film versus Son of Saul, and I had to think in my mind for like a really long time about whether or not, I say really long time, as like an afternoon, about which was really better in my opinion, and I think overall I kind of voted Son of Saul to be the better film. That was a 10 out of 10. Revenant was a 9 out of 10, but still very close 10 out of 10 if you could say that.
what else was up? I'm looking up like the nominees.
Oh, the Minions movie, of course.
Yeah, of course. Okay, yeah. Everyone's forgetting the fucking Martian got nominated for Best Picture instead of Son of Saul.
God. Yeah, that is pretty fucking weak. That's so bad. Like, and you know what? I guarantee you most people would have, like, most movie-going audiences probably saw that movie because it was like Matt Damon. It's just like, it's just all the names, and that's why they saw it.
Ridley Scott.
And then
Like, Ridley Scott's doing space again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a retard. I can use that word, by the way. I'm a retard. But like it's just like I hated that film. Like it's not even a bad film in any respect. It's just it's also like I think the biggest insult I could say about the film, just if I could leave it up to like one sentence, is it's the least Ridley Scott movie I've ever seen in my life. It just doesn't feel like he directed it. It just feels like some generic robot.
Have you seen Exodus, Gods and Kings?
Actually, no, I don't think I did say that.
That is the least Ridley Scott film ever made. At least The Martian had space.
Wait, what about was it Kingdom of Heaven? Was that?
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, but he got a director's cut of that, so he at least got to do a little bit of Ridley Scottiness.
Okay.
Well, like fucking Exodus Kings is like it's an action movie, way too long.
That's weird.
Directed by some fucking generic director. The ones that you get to direct films, you don't want anyone being talented to do.
I
Like
hate to say it, but there's so many directors that were great, and they're just really losing their touch.
John
Like,
Carpenter.
somebody needs to put them in a home. It's like they're getting too old and senile when it comes to making movies.
They don't make movies like they used to.
Yeah. There's like, where am I? And like, the studio has them on like a chain, like.
You got like
namesake.
George.
Sorry, the mic went super buggy. I didn't hear any of that.
And it'd be funny if like George Lucas was in his armchair, like just ranting about how the Ewoks made.
Well, like people were upset. Like, there's actual petitions going on where they're like, "Oh, bring Lucas back. He needs to fix
Why?
Star Wars."
What the
Fix
fuck?
it.
Jesus Christ.
Ugh.
Fix it! You piece of shit! Like, you don't even know. You just don't know. I think some of these people never watched the prequels or ever had to deal with them, like, growing up. It's like, I
Yeah.
feel like they're like little babies that are just born yesterday, and they're like, "Oh, this Star Wars, this new Star Wars, this is shit. Bring
Yeah.
back the OG."
Did anyone see the interview with George Lucas that, like, after The Force Awakens came out, he stopped for a second because, like, he pretty much said they took, like, my movie and they sold it to white slaves.
Yeah.
And
What the
that's
fuck?
What?
I don't
Yeah, he compared Disney to basically, like, slavery.
Interesting choice of words there, yeah.
This slavery in Hollywood. Oh my god.
George Lucas, he's really weird because he likes, like, it was when Red Tails came out, when he got behind the, oh, nobody liked this movie because they're racist.
Ah,
Fucking piece of shit. Shut up. You just made a terrible movie. Like, he's
that,
like a man who's never been told no in his entire life.
I know. He must have so many fucking yes men around him. Like,
Yeah.
he's like the chairman Mount, not the chairman Mount, fuck, he's that Korean dude.
Bong Joon-ho?
Idris Elba.
Selma?
Yeah.
What?
No.
Korean?
No, he's
Yeah.
That's right.
Did you say Korean?
Yeah, I can't think of his name. What's his name? Boo Jong Him.
Yeah, Bong Joon-ho, however you say his name.
No,
The guy who made the host
John
in
Wayne
Snowpiercer.
Oh, that's
John Lennon. It's John Lennon.
I watched
Yeah.
it weird-
No, George Lucas is the Kim Jong Un of Hollywood.
Oh. North. Why Idris Elba?
That's just the weirdest sounding name I could think of.
Korean
I don't know.
dictator, Idris Elba. Like, Hans Zimmer.
Have you seen Luther? Anyone?
Yeah, that's my shit zone. I love it.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah, I love it, man. I love it.
So good. I haven't
I
watched
mean,
it.
Idris Elba, like, he's a beast, man. He's a beast. I love him.
Idris Elba is such a legend. Honestly.
Mm. I
Yeah.
think I have a picture with him once. I met him at like in England, like in a McDonald's once. But like he was walking so I'm like, hey, are you Idris? He's like, yeah. Idris Elba. Oh, yo, dude, I love you. And like, Luther, man, can I have a quick picture? And I took a selfie with him.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Do you live
It's
in
really cool.
Saw Beasts of No Nation at Toronto Film Fest, and Idris Elba showed up on stage and did a little thing.
That's cool. Yeah, this is like my Idris story. Is like one of my mum's friends went to Ibiza, and Idris Elba was playing a DJ set in a club. So, I know. He's a DJ. He's
The North Korean dictator?
yeah. Dropping the beats like napalm.
Do you think he should have got nominated for Beast of No Nation?
Didn't see it.
He was really good in it.
I really want to see his.
I think to say that somebody got snubbed would probably also require me to have seen the other movies from the other nominations, which I haven't. I haven't even seen Spotlight yet, which I really wanted to see. So it's possible that he got snubbed.
Everyone just wants Leo to get it, don't they?
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Like Ice Cube had the best thing to say about the Oscars when he was on the Graham Norton show. He was
Yeah,
like,
I just watched that recently.
yeah, he was like, mate,
Like, it's an
fucking,
award. It doesn't matter. You
yeah,
just make the movie to make the movie and do something for your fans and make
Yeah.
it. It
the
shouldn't
guy
be
that
an
made
award after.
Ride Along too.
Like,
I think that Clickhole had the best thing to say about the controversy.
Wait,
They released
what
an
was that
article, and it was like the Academy has announced that all of the Oscar awards are actually African American men that fell into a vat of molten gold, and they assured people, don't worry, they are not dead, they are still alive. They are proud, noble people. Okay, it was pretty good.
Hilarious.
Clickhole is like one of my favorite websites.
Yeah.
It's
They've been on a
genius.
roll lately, yeah.
Yeah.
Insane.
Clickhole's been on a roll since it started.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, The Onion has always been spot on, like news media parody, and now that like they were really on the ball to realize that like we've moved into the age where it's no longer about cable news media. Now it's about online journalism. Now it's about clickbait bullshit. That's journalism now. So they were so on the ball when they decided to make Clickhole, and they're so incredibly accurate about it
The
too.
same people.
Yes, very much so.
They have a thing that shows, I guess, the articles that will be coming out in the next week. Which I wasn't when I saw that they have a thing that's like coming up next week, and it shows a slideshow of articles that we'll have next week. And I just saw that like I guess less than 24 hours ago, and I can't even tell if that is if it's like a parody of clickbait websites that do that, or if they actually advertise their articles that come out the next week. But regardless, one of the titles on that was feminist win. The world's oldest man has died. Just showing a picture of some like old Asian dude.
Oh yeah, I saw that one.
Pretty funny. They're so good.
Oh my god. I'm gonna say bye right now.
What?
Because I'm going out, so I need to go.
Okay, well have a good one. Thanks for dropping by.
Bye, Jack.
Out of here.
Thank you,
Well,
Mr.
I am as well.
You're leaving?
Yeah, I have work.
Oh, no worries. But thank you for dropping by, and also thank you
Danke.
for supporting me.
Yeah.
And
Good to talk to everybody.
scarfing down my noodle soup.
Hi.
Thanks. Have I seen Alien? Yeah, I've seen Alien. It's good.
But have you seen Alien 9?
I think my favorite Alien movie is AVP Requiem.
Yeah,
I
that
think
was
that's the
actually-
best
Oh,
Alien movie.
That is
of
the-
all the other ones.
Ugh.
One. Adam, what the fuck? I know when you make that voice, it sounds like you're making fun. So I want to know for a fact if you were making fun of my favorite fucking movie.
You have the exact same voice as the end of Until Dawn Part 1. What a joke.
That's true.
Have I seen The Lobster? Yes, I saw it at Vancouver Film Fest. 8
oh,
out of 10.
it's great. It's
I
great.
thought it was pretty good. It was really good.
It's like such a ambitious movie, but it's like in such a small scale.
Well, yeah, I really loved his another one of his movies was on my 2010 list, and it was called
Yeah,
Dogtooth.
Dogtooth.
No, I really loved Dogtooth. And then The Alps was in between, and I just wasn't a fan of that. It was really boring. But it's good to see that he has more than one really good movie.
I kind of prefer The Lobster to Dogtooth, honestly. Like a little.
Well, I haven't seen The Lobster twice yet. So far, I think I prefer Dogtooth, but I don't know yet. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Time will tell. This movie
Has anyone heard what the Fine Bros did?
Oh yeah, I've been tweeting about it here and there.
well, what happened?
Oh, basically they want to copyright reaction videos.
Well, they filed the trademark for the term React back in like August. So this isn't really a new thing, but they recently released a video of them saying like, "Oh, we it's been such a great journey on this React thing, and now I know a lot of you have been asking, why don't we have React in different countries? Why don't we have like British people React or French kids React?
Oh God.
Well, now we found a great new innovative way to bring them to you called React World," and they explain that it's just this big like it's basically like the Nintendo Creator Program where they're like, if you want to make anything that's called a React video, then you have to pay us money, and we're gonna make ad revenue off of your videos because we own the
Yeah.
copyright. And it's
Wait, I'm reacting.
Basically, yeah.
Sorry?
Adam, I'm reacting to what you're saying. When this stream finishes, it's gonna be published on YouTube. Shit, I owe like the Fine Bros so much money.
See what they're saying is that it's they're not copywriting React videos. Their intellectual property is the format, right?
Yeah.
So imagine the equivalency of like, let's say if Nostalgia Critic way back when decided because he was the popular person doing this format that he wanted to copyright just showing a clip of a movie and then talking in front of a camera and then showing a clip of a movie and then talking in front of the camera. Like that's about as simple as their React videos are. That's like literally it's just have kids or whoever whatever demographic in front of a camera, show the clip, cut back to them, they react to it, show the clip, cut back, and like that's all they're doing. And that's what they're saying is their format, but they want to be really ambiguous about it because they don't want to admit that they're trying to copyright something that's so blatantly like simple and really
Exactly.
shouldn't be copyrighted in the first place because it's just
Yeah.
like there's nothing to it. There's nothing to it. I don't care how popular you are. There's fucking nothing to those videos that you made. You got
Yeah.
popular because you had a really marketable idea and you spammed it. You spammed it, and that's how you got famous. It's not because you're making content that like takes any semblance of talent to make. It's because you spammed it and you had a really marketable idea and you had the right resources and infrastructure to be able to pull it off. And
Exactly.
now everybody's like revolting against them, and Psychic Pebbles is just like, I told you so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of called this like a long time ago.
Well,
so.
I mean, a long time. They were still. I mean, I've always known that the React channel has done a few like in bad taste things. Like I was well aware of the kids react to Amanda Todd's suicide, or sorry, teens react, and then teens react to the Newton school shooting, Newtown or whatever school shooting.
Yeah, I actually.
There's nothing that they won't do for the sake of just making a buck off of a tragedy is the issue.
Yeah.
Is they're shameless and greedy and opportunistic. And Psychic Pebble says that before he made the video about them, that they actually had in-video Toyota advertisements for both of those videos that they then cut out after the fact because you can do that in the YouTube editor. He says that they had in-video Toyota advertisements for both of those videos. So now it's like everybody's getting pissy at them, which is great.
Oh yeah.
Because they're not. I don't know.
Well, yeah, they're just greedy and super. They're just super manipulative.
The reason why I like the internet and YouTube is because somebody who's not like ridiculously corporate and soulless can make their way on the platform, and here they are trying to
make it more corporate and soulless.
Make it more difficult for people who aren't them to be able to get ahead and do anything. Like,
actually,
somebody wants to make a program that's similar to yours in a different language. Why don't you do it, fuckface? Like, it's if their program was unique. If it was like a script, if they had a script and it was literally like, I would even give this liberty to like Smosh. If Smosh had some shitty, stupid, dumb video for stupid people that they had on their website, and then somebody else made it in French, and they were like, oh, that's our intellectual property, and it wasn't like a parody, then sure, I guess they would have the legal right to be able to license it. and even then is a little iffy because it's YouTube. You know, it's
Yeah,
YouTube.
exactly.
It's
But-
we shouldn't be this
but it-
greedy on a medium.
Yeah, but at least in that scenario, there's something to actually like rip off. There's like a
Yeah,
script
exactly.
or like
Whereas
something.
this, like,
Yeah, I mean anyone could do this, you know,
it's
and
like
it's
like
just
trying to copyright a genre, really.
yeah,
Like,
really it is. Yeah. I actually saw a tweet. I forget who it was from the other day, but they went through like the terms and services of the React deal if you were to sign on, and apparently they're pretty bad. I think you only
That's
get to
awesome.
keep. Yeah, of course, right? I think Fine World takes 30% if you're a partner, 20% if you're independent or something like that. It's a little sketchy. And if you leave for whatever reason, they still get to keep 50% of whatever revenue they make from it. It's
That's so
nothing.
stupid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it basically reads like a really shitty partner deal with one of those really shitty multi-channel networks.
Somebody who just
Machinima.
uploaded. Sorry.
It's like machinima.
Yeah.
Kinda,
somebody who
yeah.
Just uploaded like the best response video to it. Mega
Oh
64.
god, yeah, that was good.
Did you see
Oh,
that?
Oh, I haven't seen that
Oh,
yet. Oh, I heard
I
about it
love
though.
those guys.
Those guys are great.
Oh, they're
I was
they're
into it.
absolutely hilarious.
It's one of those channels where I look at it and I'm like, I almost have as many subscribers as them. That's not right. Like, they need way more.
They do need way
There's no
more.
way that
Yeah,
I'm
they're like.
catching up to them. That's wrong. They do so much better than what I do, I think.
Oh, don't be too hard on yourself, man. Your stuff's really good.
Well, thank you. But I mean,
They're very talented.
also, I don't know. They're like a team of people that actually create
Yeah.
films and stuff. Whereas mine
Well,
is
they
just
have scripts
commentary
and original ideas and
exactly.
actual concepts that they put into, they put that you can tell they put effort and passion and real
They're really
work
great.
into what they do. They are.
I'm not saying I deserve less subscribers. I'm saying they deserve a lot more. You know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They deserve to have like 1 million at least.
Mm.
Are you sick too?
I think I'm coming down with
Rest in
something.
peace.
I'll be fine.
Sorry, I transmitted it through an e-worm.
Yeah.
I gave you a virus. The glitch just typed.
It- Oh shit! Downloading a Trojan onto my computer.
Dude,
Oh,
You gotta stop it in time.
Oh god, this is going to turn into Unfriended, isn't it?
exactly. This is what's happening right now. Part of the reason why my Unfriended video has been postponed just because of being sick is like my throat's so sore, but on certain other reviews, like I might just be able to like truck through it. If I was on my Megan is Missing review, pretty much the entire thing I'm like droning on. That's probably the most like drony voice I've ever had in a review. Whereas in Unfriended, Part 2 especially, I've come to a point where like all I'm doing is just yelling at the main character.
I could hear you
She's so
yelling.
fucking stupid, and I've fucking lost it at this point. And I know that like it would not be a good idea to keep doing it while I'm sick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get back. I've been working on my 2014 list instead in the past week, just while I'm sick, and I'll get back to it, the Unfriended thing. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of
What's-
yelling, and you'll
Well,
know
yeah.
exactly what I'm talking about when the video is posted. But there's a
Yeah.
lot of yelling.
I mean, with that movie, how else can you really tackle it? There's not much else to it.
She is everybody in the movie, but especially the main character is so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Giant fucking idiot.
Well, I got a question. How do you watch movies back to back? Because like on occasion, I may watch like 2, maybe 3 movies back to back, but I get movied out and I can't watch movies for like 2 days. How do you keep watching it?
I actually bought a recumbent bicycle so that I can get a bit of exercise while I go through my yearly list binge watchings.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've gotten a bit of use out of that so far. We'll get more as it goes on for my 2014 list. But I mean, I don't know. It's just willpower, I guess. When I'm doing these binge watchings for lists and there's a shit ton of movies that I need to get through, then I'm usually very discriminatory and unforgiving when it comes to the movies themselves. So I'll basically, if I get to a point in the movie where I think, well, there's no way that I would include something on my list with a first 20 minutes of the movie like this anyway, then I'll just stop watching it. And if it seemed like it could redeem itself at some point and that I could enjoy it, then maybe I'll watch it another time. But otherwise, I like if the first, it's not necessarily 20 minutes. It could be the first hour of the movie that I give up after. But there's a lot of movies where it's like, by a certain point, I'm like, well, this isn't making my list, and then just go on from there. So, I mean, it's still, I don't know. Sometimes it helps to like watch it with other people too, to like keep your attention.
I was thinking that like the best solution to that would be like a self-induced coma in which you just like televise all the movies all at once. It's the fastest way, really. Get you on life support, like get you on a drip, and just like pry your eyes open and just kind of force the movies in. Great.
I was thinking of like a Clockwork Orange thing, but you know.
Yeah.
Speaking of best movies to watch with other people, what did you think of Gaspar Noé's Love?
You know, what's actually interesting is I recently watched Goodbye to Language in 3D, and
I was in.
first impression of that was like meh, and now in retrospect, it's kind of even growing on me. I think I might include that on my guilty pleasures for 2014. But it's another movie that came out that is like, oh, it's using 3D as kind of a gimmick, and it's made by like an artsy festival auteur filmmaker. So this one's made by oh, what's his name? Fuck. The guy who directed, oh yeah, it's Jean-Luc Godard. So the guy who directed like Breathless and a bunch of other art movies.
Oh yeah, wow.
And yeah, especially after watching that, where even though it's not amazing, like at least there was like talent in it. I really did not like Gaspar Noé's Love. I really didn't. I thought that
It's
it was
like-
really just like pointless and boring. Like the Goodbye to Language was a little pointless, but it wasn't boring.
Yeah, that's really surprising. Is I sat through that and there was like constant moments where I was just about to walk away, but I never did. I was ready to just like kind of like walk away, but it actually kept my interest, which is really strange.
Yeah,
It was
it was a
actually
very.
interesting.
I'm starting to like it more and more the more I think about it, and I think I'm gonna give it a second watch actually.
It also used the 3D in a
Yeah,
very
I mean,
unique way.
you won't see any movie that uses 3D in the way that Goodbye to Language used it, and I won't spoil it, but if you watch that movie, you have to watch it in 3D. It's not the same movie in 2D.
I got a question. Yeah.
Sorry. Anyway, I was just gonna finish up by saying like I didn't think that Gaspar Noé's Love was good at all. I thought it was pretty bad.
Yeah, what I was just gonna say is I saw it in 2D, and like, does 3D make any difference at all? Because I didn't see like any part with the 3D. No, Love, because I mean,
I mean, assuming it's the same cut.
I saw a cut that was like 2 hours, 18 minutes, something like that.
I mean, it's you could maybe say that it's a different experience. But I don't really, like
Isn't
it
there
did like
porn
Gaspar
in 3D?
Noé's Love is it's not good. I can't. It's I wouldn't say that it's a different experience. When I say that about Goodbye to Language, I'm saying that in a way that's more true for that movie than any movie ever. Because the vast majority of movies that decide to be in 3D are movies that like they might as well not be. Gaspar Noé's Love. There's a couple shots where it's like, I just got facial.
Yeah, exactly. I just remember there's like the part where there's like, it's like inside a vagina or something, and there's like a penis doing that to like the camera. I just remembered because
Yeah,
I saw it in
quite
my.
a ripoff of that like internet GIF that was floating around. But I guess he also did that in his last movie too.
Gaspar Noé, like, it kind of makes me angry because the guy knows how to make a good fucking movie, and, like, he is really, really good at, like, visual shit. Like, the way he frames a shot and everything is fucking beautiful most of the time. He's a good director most of the time, but Jesus Christ, the acting's fucking awful. It's so
Well,
bad. In
also,
Love. In Love.
you know, I saw it at Toronto Film Fest, and so him and the main actor were there, and they showed up and did a Q&A on stage after the movie, which was kind of funny because the main actor, it's like we all just saw you naked, but whatever. It's like, wow, we just saw you come in our face. Um, so they're talking about it in the Q&A, and one of the things that I found very interesting and very telling about the overall product of the film, Gaspar Noé says, "Yeah, we didn't have a script. We just kind of went along and did it. We just kind of like filmed things as it went along, and they had no idea where it was gonna go, and they didn't have a script, and they just kind of fucked around the whole thing. Like, well, it
now
certainly
it makes a
seems
whole
like
lot more
it.
sense.
Like, it certainly seems like you just literally just farted it out, and it had nowhere where it was going, and you just kind of pretended to have a script. So
I think the best way to sum up the movie is like that one shot where there's the character that Gaspar Noé is playing, and like Murphy or whatever his name is thinks that like his girlfriend or whatever is like fucking him, and then there's a shot where Gaspar Noé's character is trying to like hump the camera.
Hmm.
I think that would probably sum up the movie
it
best.
really, I mean, he there was no point to it. It was literally just, why would you even make this, and why would you want anybody to sit through it ever? You know, there was no point to it. You had fun making it, but why would you show it to anybody?
Was there a lot of graphic sex in it?
Oh,
That was the whole point, is that like
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just
Like the
three
whole
people
movie.
fucking.
then it's definitely not going to be shown in Singapore. for
Oh,
sure.
oh yeah. Here's something I read about it.
Porn.
He was finishing editing it like 4 hours or something before the movie premiered at Cannes.
That's funny.
He was still editing it like 4 hours before it premiered. So I mean, yeah.
Norm of the North. That seems like a good movie.
Fantastic.
Oof.
Which would be worse, watching
'Cause-
that with your parents, but they're naked, or everyone's closed and you're watching Love?
I was at Tiff and I watched that movie with my brother, but we're not like awkward about anything at all. So it would be difficult watching it with my mom. Part of the reason why I watched it with my brother is because like I had the 2 tickets, and my mom visited me at TIFF also. Like I went out to TIFF expecting to go by myself, and then my family kind of just showed up. It was just like, oh, let's have a family Toronto Film Fest vacation. So I had 2 tickets to see this movie, and I was like, I'm not seeing this with my mom. So then my brother lives in Montreal, and so he took a train out, and then I gave him a bunch of the tickets.
Sweet.
Yeah, it was actually really cool. I really enjoyed Toronto Film Fest.
Oh yeah, I got a question. Is there like a minimum age for movies? Because like I was thinking about going this year, like flying out to
Toronto Film
Toronto. Yeah. For like
I mean you don't have to be an adult to watch the movies there unless they're rated too high for
yeah.
to see them. I mean, I'm pretty sure the only time where they're going to ask you for ID is for like restricted movies. So like R rated, not 18A. So like the Canadian equivalency of NC-17. So they asked for our ID. And you know what? Even for Gaspar Noé's Love, they kind of just asked us like, "Are you 18?" And we said, "Yeah," and they just didn't even check our IDs. So I'm like, yes, I am. But I mean, I also look older, so.
Have you ever been stopped at any of the festivals ever?
What do you mean by stopped?
Stopped? Has anybody ever checked you?
For what?
Anything?
Like ID or
Yeah,
anything?
anything. Because
Maybe?
there was this year where I got stopped 3 times in one place, which is weird.
Oh yeah, was that at Vancouver Film Fest?
Yeah,
Well, because you carry around like a camera bag.
yeah. But I mean, it was for like 3 different separate reasons. It's weird. 2 of them
Okay.
pertain to the bag, but
But yeah, you carry around a camera bag, like it says Nikon on
it
it,
literally says like
to a movie theater.
it says ISIS on the front. So, I don't know.
Have I ever been kicked out of a movie? No. But I snuck into Saw 3D, or sorry, Saw 3. And I was like, I think 15 at the time, and I really wanted to see Saw 3. And they were like, no, you can't see it. You're not old enough. And we're like, fine. And then so then me and my friend just snuck in anyway. And then as soon as we get into the theater, there's literally only like 2 other people in the theater. It's like this random couple. And then I was like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. And so we sat down literally right next to the couple, leaving no space, no gaps. And so we just pretended like we were part of their group. And then I put my hair back, and I put it behind myself, and I took off my jacket and put it on the floor so that I was wearing something different. And we just all sat there. And then the theater staff literally came in the theater because they saw us go in there, and they had a flashlight. They were like, "Where are those kids?" They like look around. They even like pointed up at the place where we are, and they're like, "I can't find the kids." And then they leave, and then we watched the whole movie, and I was like, "Yeah." And then at the end of the movie. As the cleaning staff shows up to start cleaning the theater, we're like walking out, and we're like just walking past those people, and one of them says, "Hey, those are those kids!" And we're like, "Run!" And we literally just ran out of the theater so fast, laughing our asses off, and we ran straight to Chuck E. Cheese's. And some
Sorry, it's
well, I mean,
great if you were 12.
because Chuck E. Cheese's was like.
Well, I mean, like you can't really get a couple. Sorry.
Can't get you there.
Yeah, exactly. I was saying,
You can't really get like a couple of fully grown people to like chase some kids into Chuck E.
Yeah,
Cheese
exactly.
because there's no way that's not gonna look
it's not like
weird.
they would chase us
Yeah.
out of the movie theater anyway, because most businesses
Yeah.
like that have rules where their staff can't do that because otherwise they could be held for because they don't want to get injured and blah 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 blah. Like a lot of liability jargon from the employers. But anyway, so yeah, we go to Chuck E. Cheese's and some woman is like, "Here, my kid won all of these tickets. We have all these tickets for the games, and we're gonna leave soon. You can have them." And we're like, "Yeah!" And we played skee ball. It was the best day ever. It was it was a great, just satisfying being an underage person sneaking into something moment. It's always great when something works out, especially if you have like a really good idea, like quick thinking plan, and it works out. That was satisfying.
I kind of have a story about that where very recently I was kicked out of a fucking screening of Hateful Eight with Quentin Tarantino showing up at the end.
Oh fuck!
Yeah. No, I was like, there was a line of 700 people going like all the way up to the front door, and then the person at the front door just said like, "You're not 18, I'm not letting you in." And then like, yeah, I just $50 is gone. They're like, eh.
Oh, it sucks.
Hmm.
And I don't know. I feel like
stupid.
the best way to circumvent that is like bringing an adult to, if you're ever uncertain, just because.
Yeah, no, here's the fucking. Oh, sorry.
Oh, did you? Sorry.
Here's the fucking stupid thing about Australia, though. There's like there's it's kind of basically here. The Hateful Eight is our equivalent of NC-17.
Oh fuck, that sucks.
So
That's really
yeah.
weird. I don't know anywhere else where that's the case.
Australia's really bad with its censorship.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
That's what I hear too. Yeah.
I hear they banned small breasts in porn. That if you star in porn, you can't have small breasts because otherwise it encourages pedophilia.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, are you going to see Selma?
Selma?
Yeah, that's on my list of things to see before I do my 2014 list. So I haven't seen it yet, but I'll get around to it.
I remember that came out at the end of the year, didn't it? It was like
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was
release.
still considered like 2014.
Oh yeah, yeah. It
Like,
didn't come
it was
out
from the
after.
Academy. It was a part of the awards thing there too. So.
Yeah. It's kind of sad that it didn't win. Well, Ava DuVernay didn't get nominated at least for directing. I liked her directing style. It didn't get nominated for best directing, which was kind of disappointing. It was an opportunity for the Academy to kind of seem diverse a little bit at least. And I'm not saying it should nominate her just because she's a woman and she's of color, but I'm saying she actually had talent in the
I'm
movie.
actually
So
confused about this. Let me see who directed this. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, so I can't really speak for that.
some of the what the fuck?
I think I was having this conversation. I was on.
Check.
I guess there's a little bit of a spoiler, but the Pizza Party podcast I'll be on, we were talking about like Blank Check and Richie Rich and stuff for a moment. Anyway, those are the tabs I had open, and Mark's laughing at me. Let's see, Selma. Who directed this? Ava
DuVernay.
What does she direct other than this?
The Help.
14 credits.
Oh wait, those are miscellaneous.
I will follow.
You didn't see a Green Room at TIFF, did you? Because
No,
I don't know, that looked pretty good.
Yeah, I guess I can't really comment on this director at all because I haven't seen any of her movies, but I'll have a formulated opinion when I see Selma, and I will be seeing that in the next few months. So.
What shit was I gonna say? What was fucking now I forgot. Jesus Christ! I actually had something to say. I was waiting all that time. That's like the worst thing. I fucking hate that.
I'm sorry.
It's I literally burped and forgot.
Jesus Christ.
My brain works. It's a good brain.
I'm disgusting.
I literally had my own Google Hangout a while ago, and it was like, it was great though. Like, but it was literally one person. It was.
No, yeah, because now that Mark has a Patreon, was that the Google Hangout for your?
My own personal account.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it was. There was two people, or at least there's supposed to be. The other guy hasn't gotten back to me, or at least maybe I haven't gotten his message
A
yet.
50% attendance though.
I know
That's
very-
pretty good attendance for a Google Hangout.
Yeah.
It was a very intimate Google Hangout, especially when I slowly stripped for the day. Yeah. But it was decent at least. It wasn't awkward in any way, which was
That's
nice.
good. That's
Yeah.
good. 'Cause that would be my fear of like just a one-person hangout.
Oh yeah,
But I
there.
guess, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh no, you finish. Like what I have to say might take a sec.
I was about to say like I guess the awkwardness kind of takes care of itself because chances are if somebody wanted to be on the hangout and is showing up, then they probably wouldn't be the same person that would just like not say anything and not
Just sit
engage
there
in a
silently.
conversation.
It's like, so what are you
Yeah.
up to? It's just,
I just wanted to lie.
I would die. I just like
Yeah.
on camera. I'm not. It's me.
I heard the story a couple of months ago in another Patreon hangout, but this is basically the story of how J.J. Abrams fucked over Kevin Smith during the Comic-Con. So there was meant to be basically a long time ago when they were shooting Force Awakens. Kevin Smith visited the set, right? And apparently he was just the biggest asshole to everyone about just everything. Just like, oh, what are you doing? Can I see that prop? Oh, he was like visiting every set and just like
Not
just
George
taking a look
Lucas?
around.
Kevin Smith?
What? Kevin Smith. They let him visit the set.
Why Kevin Smith?
So,
I don't fucking
He's
know.
a fanboy.
Yeah.
so wait a minute. Was Kevin Smith being the asshole, or was J.J. Abrams being the asshole?
Kevin Smith was being the asshole because he's Kevin
Okay.
See that?
Yeah.
But then again, then like so that finished.
Like,
and
it sounds
JJ
like something George Lucas would do. It's funny that it's Kevin Smith.
No kidding, right?
Anyway,
No,
JJ
in all fair, sorry, I was just going to say, in all fairness, I've met Kevin Smith, and he is kind of an asshole, in my experience, at least. Sorry, go ahead.
Anyway, what happened is that they had a conference at the Comic-Con at about The Force Awakens with J.J. Abrams showing up and everything, and after they had like this announcement, J.J. knew that the exact next person up was Kevin Smith announcing his new movie, Yoga Hosers. So what he did at the end of that was say to everyone there in like the thing, hey, guess what? You all have free tickets to Star Wars in concert. Let's go right now to the theater and go. So everybody left the place they were at, and Kevin Smith showed up to announce Yoga Hosers and like play the premiere trailer, and there were a total of like 3 people there.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I honestly like. I don't remember if it got upvoted on Reddit or not, but somehow I found out about the new trailer for Yoga Hosers. And I looked at the thumbnail, and it's the 2 girls that were in Tusk.
Oh, that's
and
the whole movie.
Like literally the 2 characters that were in Tusk. And I looked at the thumbnail, I was like, I rolled my eyes, and then I just didn't even click it. Like, I don't even need to click on this fucking thumbnail. I know exactly what it's gonna be, and it's gonna be a fucking piece of shit.
I didn't even know
Gigantic piece of shit.
I didn't even know he was making
No,
a
it's
movie, and just by the title alone, I just hate it.
the whole movie is like Kevin Smith's daughter and Johnny Depp's daughter just standing around and saying stuff.
I didn't even know that they were their daughters. That's funny.
Yep.
I bet he's like gonna pass it off as like, oh, remember Clerks?
Exactly.
It has that kind of general feel at the moment. I don't know if it's,
Wait,
Remember that movie I made?
Is it needlessly shot
please?
in black and white?
No.
No.
Okay.
Oh, it's
You haven't
already.
seen Tusk, have you?
No.
It's so bad.
I called
Down.
in sick for that. You were like asking me to come with you, and I was like, no, I was sick. No, I think it was something happened. Something came up, and I was.
I think you were working.
Yes. I could have booked it off, or something could have happened. Like I could have gone. I could have made that choice, but I chose not to. But in retrospect, I feel kind of bad because it would have been great to literally not watch the movie, but like scooch over a little bit and just watch you.
I was
like,
freaking out.
Steve.
I watched it with Scott, and I was just mad. And we were in a like basically empty theater, and we were both just like, "This is
movie. I went on my
bullshit."
popcorn and stared at you the whole time with this big dumb grin on my face. Like I missed the opportunity. So
I hate being sick.
yeah. I feel like I'm finally over it, which is great. I feel like normal.
You probably got all those T cells from the last time you were sick.
T cells. The T virus.
What?
Oh, dropping Resident Evil bombs in this chat, dude. Listen, okay, I can't wait. This Resident Evil movie, it's gonna start Mila Jovovich, and it's gonna be great.
Do you know how to actually pronounce her name?
Yes. Mila Jovovich.
Google bitch.
Google bitch.
Google bitch.
When you Google Resident Evil, that's the bitch. It's
Yeah. I can't think of her name anymore without instantly thinking of the intro to The Fourth Kind, where she says her name, which is like the most triggering movie ever made. It's just so bad.
If I were ever if like I'm never the kind of person who would approach like doing reviews, even though I did try once, but I threw it in the trash immediately. If I were somebody who got a reaction from a movie that would have pissed me off so much that I would have taken the time and effort to make a review of it and like bash it YMS style, nostalgia critic style, whatever style, it like just just to put it out there that this is horrible and nobody should watch it, it would be The Fifth Kind. I think that's what
The
it's
Fourth
called.
Kind.
The fourth kind.
The Fourth Kind. It's probably one of the worst movies I've ever seen. It is the most insulting movie I think I've ever seen. It's garbage. It's
Somebody's
I've
asking
heard of
me.
that one.
I'm just gonna answer some questions in the comments for a second. What was my
reacts.
best movie theater experience? I don't know. I think that my best movie theater experience is when I went and saw Jackass 3D, and I've told this story before, and it's somewhere on my vlog channel. But we made out of movie theater posters. We made these masks that we would bring, and we cut out 3D glasses that we always brought these 3D glasses home. So we used them to like cut around like posters and put them on our head. And our idea was if we had these masks on that with the 3D glasses in them, then we wouldn't see anything in our peripherals. So we would just be able to see only the screen and nothing next to us. And so I had a Lord of the Rings poster, and I cut out right over the eyes of Viggo Mortensen. I had this mask, and his face was so small too. It was like this tiny chin that was like right up here, and so it looked really weird. And so I had this mask with the 3D glasses, and Shay was there, and my other friend Michael Batt was there, and this was still way back in Edmonton. And Shay had this really cool like thing that he made that his was kind of almost like an alien mask, and Michael Batt had his own thing. And our plan was, this is Jackass 3D. It was the first. It was this. We were very frustrated. Well, I was very frustrated with wanting to see the last two Jackass movies in theaters, but being not of legal age. So Jackass 3 comes out, and it's like, finally, we get to see a Jackass movie in theaters, and we're 18, so we can actually see it. And so we were so hyped, and I was like, I planned this big thing, like, yeah, here's the release date. We're gonna get trashed. We're just gonna get really fucking drunk and shit, and then go to the theater, and we're gonna see it. It's gonna be great. And then, so I plan to have my friends spend the night at my house, and we look online, and we're like, there's no midnight showing. There's no midnight. Why aren't they doing a midnight showing? Why aren't they doing an opening night showing? So we're like, fuck it, we'll just see it in the morning. So they spend the night at my house, and the plan has not changed. We wake up and we just literally just start drinking. As soon as we wake up, we're like Hot 100 and like just straight up Jack Daniels and like beers and etc. And we're just getting trashed. And we brought all shit tons of liquor like in our giant Edmonton cold weather Canada coats and like these backpacks of just all this way too much liquor, and even at the bus stop, we're just chugging as much as we can and just getting trashed. And we get on the bus, and there's this like awesome girl that was there who's like, "Why are you wearing these masks?" And we explained it to her, having this drunken conversation with this girl about why we're wearing these movie poster masks. And then we get to the theater, and we're gonna buy our tickets, but they're like, take off your masks so they could actually check our ID. And I'm like, oh yeah. So I did take off the mask, buy a ticket, get into the theater, sneak all of our alcohol in with no issues, watch the movie, get absolutely trashed while we're in the movie. We literally have like a movie theater straw going into this giant bottle of Jack Daniels. And at a certain point through the movie, my one friend Michael Batt, who I know, like, if I know anything about him, it's that I can drink way more than him, because he was a lot smaller than me at the time. He's still a little smaller than me, although now he like works out a lot, so he's made up for it. But I knew for a fact that like he does not hold his liquor as well as I do, and I was expecting that he would pace himself at least somewhat. And about a certain point through the movie, like probably halfway through the movie, I was like, you know what? I'm really drunk, and I just stopped because I didn't want to overdo it, because I believe in still having a fun time and not just ruining things, right? Know your own limits. And meanwhile, like, even though I have this thing of Jack Daniels, Michael Batt just kept, like, he's sitting next to me. Every like few minutes he would just tap me again and be like, just pass it. I'm like, okay. And then like he just kept saying like, yeah, just pass it. And like I'd stopped a long time ago. I'm like, okay. And then all of a sudden, the movie is over. Credits start rolling, and my friend Michael Batt, I see him just start to like lean forward in his movie theater chair. I'm like, uh-oh. And and he starts vomiting on the floor with his mask still on.
Oh
His,
no!
his stupid movie theater poster mask, and he's literally like, it's like spilling out all over the floor.
Oh,
I look at him, and I was
oh
having the
man!
best fucking time. I was laughing so much. Shay and I were both laughing really hard because it was because he brought it upon himself, and it was very obvious that he should have stopped. And I'm pretty sure I whispered to him during the movie, being like, "Are you sure you want to keep going?" And literally, it was at the end credits. It didn't ruin the movie. It was at the perfect moment that he could have just threw up everywhere. He did, and it was right at the right at the end of the movie as soon as the credits started going up. And so yeah, he threw up like all over his face and his shirt, inside his mask, and all onto the floor. And I was like, well, we gotta go. And so Shay and I like helped him out of the theater, and we went out of the exit. And we thought, like, as shitty as it is, that that some movie theater employee probably had to clean it up. Well, most definitely had to clean it up. I mean, at least it was for the movie Jackass 3, where any reasonable expectation would be that maybe there would be people throwing up at like disgusting things that they've seen in the movie, and maybe it might not be from somebody being drunk. I don't know. Well, yeah, because I don't know if you're playing a movie where people are doing disgusting things, then maybe who knows? Maybe they've cleaned up vomit from these kind of movies before, at least. But yeah, that was probably my best movie going experience, and I think I've told that story before on this channel, but it's a good story, and I still have the ticket from that movie. and I printed it out, and last time I saw him I gave him that ticket to remind him. Everybody's obsessed. It's really funny.
Obsessing.
Yeah.
Does anyone know when the Eric Andre show will premiere this year?
I love the Eric Andre show. I can't wait until season 4. I hope it comes out soon. Sorry?
I don't know.
He was on Conan. Just.
Sorry. What was the question? What about the Eric?
When will it premiere? Because doesn't it usually premiere like December something?
I don't know. One time I heard April, but I honestly don't know. It was announced like almost a year ago, so I think that it should like. And he's also started doing like some media appearances, so I'm assuming that it's trying to hype it up for something happening soon.
I wanted to do. There's something in my school called the morning show where they have like announcements of like like a YouTube video announcement of like okay, this week this will happen, this will happen. And one of my ideas was to make it into something like the Eric Andre show because they were really trying hard to be funny. But I showed them one clip of the show. They weren't amused. So
I know.
Yeah.
It sucks when you find something that's like so good, but at the same time it's a very like niche. It's a very specific brand of humor that not everybody's into.
Yeah.
I showed them the Wiz Khalifa episode.
I tried to Eric Andre, and they were like, "This is for people who are really high, that are just like it's like 2 a.m. on Adult Swim." I'm like, "No, you don't get it." I was like, "Just watch." I showed them the part. You know the part in the Wiz Khalifa episode where it was like, "Bring that naked PA out here now!" And they bring the naked PA, and he starts punching him. I thought that was hilarious. I was like rolling on the floor laughing, like Miles. You know, I think the problem is not necessarily that like there's a lot of shows that I really love, and there's certain friends of mine where I can tell that they just literally don't know when to laugh, like they don't know where the jokes are. And it's like meanwhile like a lot of the other programs they watch, it's like I don't know, the jokes are so much more obvious. You know, there's been a few good Key and Peele skits, like the stuff that they have on YouTube. They've had a few great stuff, But I tried watching the actual show, and even
It's
though
not that
those
good.
same friends
It's
that really didn't like Eric Andre show, like they were loving Key and Peele the whole time. And I tried watching
yeah,
I was watching it with them. I'm like, none of this is funny. Like,
Mm.
I get
it's
where the jokes
very
are.
hit
It's
and
just,
miss.
it's really not good. But yeah, I mean, some of their skits have been fantastic. Like
Oh yeah.
the big ones on YouTube are really good.
Yeah,
I
like
don't, I
substitute
don't,
teacher.
I don't have that much faith in their new movie coming out. We'll
Oh
see
yeah.
how that is. But
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, I don't trust them that much as comedians and filmmakers. I know that they've had a few hits and I've loved them, but I don't have faith in them yet.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, it's called Keanu or something, right?
Yeah, which is really
Keanu.
funny because I can't hear that name without thinking of Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Kane, oh, they were in Fargo, weren't they? The TV show for Fargo. They were in like the
Oh,
latter half of the first season.
for that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, it's weird because I try to show people like the Eric Andre show, but they're too interested in like Empire. Do you know what Empire is?
yeah, I
It's the
have.
show. It's a show basically with like a bunch of like rappers and black people in it. It's okay. This I'm not. I never watch it, but it's really weird, man.
Um,
Should I recommend
yeah,
it?
I
I'd like to check it out.
some half of I like try whenever I show my friends like Tim and Eric, half of them like think it's just the funniest shit, and half of them just like kind of go like they just kind of sit in silence, kind of
Yeah.
like they're confused.
Yeah.
There's certain shows where if I'm going to introduce it to somebody, I'd like to be there just so at least they know what parts are supposed to be funny, you know?
Yeah.
Or
They
so
can't
they
fake
know
it.
like what the humor is or where the humor is. I remember I brought like I think season 3 of Tim and Eric over to my brother's house back when I lived in Edmonton, and he lived with like 5 roommates. He lived one of them being Shay's brother, and I brought this DVD over, and then I left it there just assuming that I would watch it with him and his group of friends at some point. And then later I hear that Shay's brother Caleb had just found it there and started watching it by himself, and then told Evan like, "Oh, this is stupid," and that's all I heard about it. He's like, "Yeah, so Caleb tried watching it and he thought it was really stupid." I'm like, "Well, should have watched it by himself, you know? Like, he should,
Yeah.
I wish I was there." I don't know. Sometimes it doesn't really help. Sometimes people are really stubborn. The same friends that I'm talking about that really didn't like Eric Andre, they also hated the Holy Mountain. They're like my only friends that really hated the Holy Mountain. They're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, why is it so stupid?" They just get angry when it's not conforming to something that they're familiar with. It's a weird response. They just get like really angry about it.
Well, I feel like people gotta find this shit out by themselves as well. If somebody watches Tim and Eric by themselves, if they don't find it funny, I don't think they're ever gonna find it funny. It's like
Yeah,
you don't really have to be there for that.
yeah.
I watched Tim and Eric by myself. I discovered it myself, and then found it, like, or at least like I can't remember how I discovered it. Maybe a friend recommended it or something. But I definitely watched the bulk of that show by myself, and then would probably go to my friend later, and like I would literally like the new episode would come out, we would either torrent it or something, and I would call him up, and then we'd talk about the show after, and we'd giggle like little girls.
Tim and Eric is a show that has bonded me with friends. Tim and Eric is one of those shows where like when it was out, if I knew somebody else was watching it and they were making references, then usually like not necessarily because of that show, but it always wound up happening just by happenstance or just by it being being I guess a part of our psyches that I would just get along really well with that person. 9 times out of 10, if somebody watches Tim and Eric and enjoys it on the same level, then I usually get along really well with that person. Or usually, you could say even vice versa. Usually, the people that I get along with get along really well with just happen to also really like or enjoy Tim and Eric. I think there's something just about like what kind of humor you like as
Yeah.
that reflects, I guess, a bit of your I guess outlook and mentality and I don't really want to say intelligence, although that is somewhat true because if you look at if you look at the demographic of people that really watch, enjoy, and find hilarious things like Kevin James and Adam Sandler movies.
Yeah, there's.
I'm willing
Yeah.
to bet that if we put some statistical or some did some sort of a consensus or tried to find out specific information, I'm willing to bet that the average person who watches those movies is not as smart as the average person who watches like any other kind of comedy, honestly. Because I mean, when you look at comedy as a genre, and when you look at what the human brain is doing when you enjoy something like comedy, laughter is essentially the human brain's response towards giving you a reward almost for solving a riddle. It serves two different purposes. One being for
big dumb baby.
one being for I guess like social bonding, which is why laughter is contagious, where it's like somebody else laughs, you laugh, and it's all just a part of like
Next thing you're
being
kissing.
like, haha. It's a subconscious kind of like, haha, I understand things on the same level that you're understanding them. You know, like that's what humor already is like this weird biological response to sharing and understanding with somebody else, and that's why the stupidest people and the stupidest type of humor is that really shitty either like Adam Sandler, Kevin James movies where it's just like, haha, fat guy fell down, like there's nothing to get other than like, haha, he fell down. When people fall down, it is funny, sort of thing. Like that's basic level human understanding of anything. And then even further, remember when those like right now they still exist. Like the 50 Shades of Black is coming out. There was a haunted house and Wayans.
Oh God.
The Wayans brothers stuff, yeah.
The Wayans brothers, but those two other guys.
Pieces of shit.
The two other guys that were worse than the Wayans brothers. That
Yeah.
there were two of the writers on Scary Movie, and then they kept doing like disaster movie, epic movie, all that. The same brand
what
of
are their
humor
names?
exists within that, where it's like, haha, somebody fell over. But another brand of humor that is equally as simple to understand and appeals to this audience of just like really low IQ people is the humor that is found from making pop culture references where you're not really making a statement on anything pop culture wise. Literally the entire joke is just the reference existing. So they have
Yeah.
a character show up and it's like, haha, that's supposed to be Paris Hilton. I get that that's supposed to be Paris Hilton, and that's like that's the equivalency of their brains saying like, haha, I understood that joke. Haha, the other people around me understood that joke. I solved the riddle. I am laughing as a biological reward to solving this riddle. And it's like the stupider you are, the stupider your comedic interests are. I don't know.
The less it takes to impress you.
Yeah, exactly. The less that it takes to get someone to be like, haha, I solved the riddle.
So what you're saying is the comedic geniuses really is the people who made these movies.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, if their goal was to intentionally make the dumbest people in the world laugh, I think they are comedic.
Yeah.
Right, so
Yeah, I don't think that.
No, in a way, I mean, I know this is true for America. I don't know worldwide, but the average IQ level is something like 100, which is pretty abysmal for an average.
Or not? I wonder because I mean to get a worldwide IQ level,
yeah,
there's significant parts of the world where like people can't even read. So,
exactly. So, something like that is.
How would you even test that? I think it might just be in America that the average is 100. That seems like a reasonable.
But at the same time, the people making those movies are obviously catering towards the lower half of that spectrum.
Well, I know they're catering, but they're not really like self-aware about it. Because as much as like they make money from stupid people, I'm not sure that they're like.
Creators know.
I wouldn't say that they're like people that could make something better and are choosing to make
Ah.
something stupid to make money. Because you can make something better and still make money and make even more money. You can if you have the capacity, talent, and know-how and general understanding to be able to make a better movie than a really
But that's after.
Yeah.
stupid piece of shit movie.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean you can. It's like writing effort, I guess, but you can still make a good movie and, like, I don't know, have it be slightly smarter by at least giving the impression that it's self-aware.
Well, I feel like
Yeah.
Adam Sandler is literally playing people for fools now. I don't think like
Yeah.
I think he's literally just
It's a scheme.
It is.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not because he's stupid. It's literally he's playing everyone like a damn fiddle.
Yeah.
It's just like
He doesn't care, and he's just trying to make money, basically.
He's
And-
literally just subsidizing his family vacations. He goes
Yeah.
to every single movie. He goes to some like tropical location with his best friend actor people and his family, and then he films himself going on water slides and having fun, and then says, "It was a movie. Here,
Someone pointed,
and I'm gonna
someone
make money
pointed-
off of it."
Yeah.
He's literally just he's literally subsidizing his family vacations and making money off of it and pretending it's a movie. It's a scam. It's not real.
oops, I have to have
I
this
mean-
next scene with Selma Hayek. I mean, it's in the script. Dang, didn't want
Something someone pointed out when they were like reviewing The Ridiculous Six said this is slightly better than the rest of his movies because I don't think Adam Sandler wanted to go on vacation in the Wild West.
Oh, yeah.
So it
that's
must
funny.
be slight.
Somebody was asking if I listen to hip hop outside Eminem. The answer is
No.
yes, and I mean I have enough hip hop instrumental tracks in my reviews that are not Eminem that should already be a given. I think.
I appreciated you using Nas in your newest review. Mwah, give me a kiss.
Meh. Do I listen to Kendrick Lamar? Not really.
Even though you stopped me from watching the Nas movie, you piece of shit.
It conflicted with the other showings at the festival, Mark.
I'll never let you live this down.
He really wanted to see the Nas documentary, and there were 2 showings, but both of them conflicted with more important movies. That's the only bad thing about a film festival is like you have all these movies that you want to see, and if you you go there with like an understanding of what you would want to see and like know the directors and know your interests, then you have really good kind of prioritizations that you make. In certain movies, it's just like they only have one showing, so it's like I got to see this one then, and so I can't change this one, I can't change this one. And every festival I go to, there's always like a couple movies where it's like, damn it, I wish I could see this right now, but I can't. I wanted to see The Witch at TIFF. I wanted to see Spotlight, and just so many that just I couldn't because they conflicted. I only wound up seeing Sicario because they added an extra showing for it. Yeah.
I hate to interrupt, but can you finally hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, it's about
not,
time.
It's not. Whoa. Okay. So you were trying to talk earlier. I had no idea.
Yeah.
There's a chat on the side too. So for future reference, if shit isn't working and you want to know if people can hear you, you can always type in the chat and we can see it. The watchers on YouTube cannot see the chat that we have in the Google Hangout. So that's
If only I had something intelligent to add.
Oh, that's fine. It doesn't matter. That is your voice almost sounds like a demo, right?
TF2 demo?
I agree.
Yeah, kind of. Demo D from just a YouTuber.
Demolition D+.
His channel name is Douchebag Chocolat, and he talks
Douchebag
very. Yeah, he talks similarly. Anyway, yeah. Now people in the
He's the
comments
YMS of anime in a sense. Yeah. Yeah. I guess you could say that's one.
Man, I want to hang out with him again.
I'm mad that I didn't get to be there for that. I would have like sexually harassed Demolition D verbally the entire time. I kind of wish I was there for that.
Somebody's asking if I can share my thoughts on Goodnight Mommy. It was It was all right. It was kind of disappointing, honestly. It wasn't that good.
I didn't hate
The
it.
first-
It was good, but
The first like 2/3 of it are like feels like it's leading up to something else, and then without going into spoilers, it like turns into something else, which is like really kind of like, oh, okay. I had a thought that it would go there, but that's like it just kind of goes
you'd almost
downhill.
think that it wouldn't just because
Yeah, it's just like
because you'd think that they would think that people would think that.
it's kind of almost like the writer was just like, oh, there's all this build up. You know what? Fuck it, do anything.
It was one of those things like where like I'm trying to figure out what's going on, and like it's like the first initial like what if it's this, and then I ended up watching the whole movie. It's like the first thing I thought it was, and it was like, oh shit.
Yeah,
and you just kind of watch it all happen, and you're like, oh.
Without spoiling anything, it's like it's like the writer asked like their like 8-year-old son, hey, what would be like a good twist to end the movie? And then like the 8-year-old son said something, so they just wrote that.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It got more hype than it deserved. It's one of because it's one of those movies where when it's like, especially if if it's a foreign language movie and it shows up and it gets distributed worldwide, you'd almost expect that it should be something where like it's just so amazing that that's why it's being shared around. But so often like horror movies are way too overrated because there's so many like diehard horror movie fans that like they really want to see a horror movie and they only want to see horror movies, and so then when a horror movie comes out that's like all right and not amazing, and they wind up just putting it on this giant pedestal of like, oh my god, best horror movie ever, blah blah blah, like so good, everybody should see this movie, and then you see the movie and it's that was all right, I guess. Like it was, yeah.
What movie was it?
Goodnight Mommy.
Oh, I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, it was, I don't know. It had a lot of like indie hype, and then it just wasn't that good.
Somebody recently asked me like a bunch. They're like, please recommend me like some horror movies, like recent horror movies. It was like I was going down the list. I think the first one was It Follows, is what I recommended to him. Something else, and then it was like Goodbye Mommy, and it's just like that. But that was like the last of my like. It was the last thing I recommended.
Well, yeah, and it's like it's not even good. That's
Like-
why it happens. Is because it's like recommend me a good horror film this year, and then you have to name one that wasn't good because it's like the best one that came out in the year.
Yeah.
Usually horror, like no,
But
usually
name,
horror
name
films
some
just
recent
aren't-
horror movies that were good in comparison. It doesn't have much competition. Like It Follows was like arguably the best horror film that has come out for quite a while. That's it.
I don't know. Krampus was pretty good.
Oh crap! Well, I haven't seen Krampus, but
I don't know.
I'll watch it eventually.
I don't know if I will enjoy it.
I heard Red Letter Media, like, they were talking about the sound design was great, especially with the wind blowing in the snowy area.
I'm gonna take everything that they said about that movie with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Just because I know that they particularly gush over kind of campy movies or schlock or 80s. I know it's not, but it's what they were implying in their review or what they were talking about. Says that it kind of pays homage to kind of older 80s kind of schlocky slasher monster movies. So I love those guys, but there's the odd time where they're like I don't know if they're being as objective as I wish they could be.
I don't know if I would call it that. I would just say that they have different tastes.
That's
I don't
true.
like. There's a lot of there's plenty of points where I just simply don't agree with them at all because like I don't know if any of you guys watched their review on The Revenant, but a lot of their complaints were like, yeah, I didn't get this from the movie, I didn't get this from the movie, and every time they said that, I was like, I really obviously got that it was a revenge story. They were complaining like, oh, I didn't really understand why he was surviving until like and then all of a sudden he wants to kill this guy. That didn't make sense. I thought he was just trying to survive just to not die. I'm like, but
Oh yeah, but
like,
then
the entire movie like makes it really obvious that he's trying to get revenge. Like I was never confused about that in the slightest. Like there's a lot of shit like that they just like I guess about a movie, and then it also really seemed like they couldn't detach Leo, the actor, from like the character. They were saying that he was the worst actor in the movie. When
Yeah.
I really don't agree with that at all. Like
Yeah.
that review in
Well,
particular, I just I don't understand what they were saying there. But
well, they kind of have a record of hating Leonardo DiCaprio. They're really not big
yeah,
fans
I'm
of
starting
him.
to
So
figure out, which I
yeah.
just don't understand. I don't hate him at all. Like I feel like he sometimes gets typecasted, but
Yeah.
fuck, I'm trying to find this movie that I added to my watch list, and I just can't find it.
Why do you have Shanghai Nights and Shanghai
Because I want to
Noon?
see them again.
Oh, okay. I recently watched Shanghai Nights, and it's funny because I only just got the pun recently.
Yeah. Funny.
What did you did you see Room, the one that was nominated for Best Picture
Really
somehow?
I thought it was really bland and like it held itself back, and it was really underwhelming, and it was
Stupid
just
baby movie.
very blah. It wasn't special at all, and it wasn't exceptional in any way. And I don't like that so many people are going apeshit over it because it's not below the bar, it's not over the bar, it's just the bar, and I don't think that should be celebrated with awards and massive praise if you're just gonna make the bar movie.
Well, I mean, I I didn't think it was a great movie, but like there some parts that were done pretty well, like kind of how they depict like a kid thinks and that sort of thing. There were elements of it that I thought were like pretty great.
How do they depict that the kid thinks?
Well,
You mean like the copy and
I mean,
dialogue from the book?
Here's the thing. Like, can I
Sorry.
say quickly? When I saw the movie at VIF and the author was there to like tell her big spiel about it, what I got from out of that conversation, like with her in the audience, is that the book is far better than the movie.
That's what everybody thinks anyway.
It's but it's not just the typical, oh, of course the book's better. It's like the book sounds far better than what the movie accomplished.
The movie seemed like a sugar-coated version of the book, and I haven't even read the book.
The movie is like.
Well, I mean, would you rather have like graphic depictions of rape scenes in like a movie about a
If
kid?
that's what the book was supposed to be, then yeah.
If that would have
Oh, really?
emotion, yeah.
I mean, like it's not like, oh, I want to see someone get raped, but
No,
if you want me to give more of a shit about the characters and their struggles, if you want like the crescendo of the movie, if you want the whole point of the movie to be for me to care about their struggles and see how they've suffered, right? Then you shouldn't sugarcoat it, because the movie that I got out of it was just really fucking boring, and I didn't care about anybody. It was really it was the most like underwhelming and bland and just unspecial movie I've seen all year.
I feel like handled under a different director, it would have been a better movie.
Yeah, it was just something where like I have this issue with like movies that sugarcoat things, because if you want to make a sugar-coated movie and you want things to be really like family friendly and not graphic and not go anywhere, like the entire the movie's telling you that there's like, I guess, violence and rape that happened, but it wasn't really ever graphic about it. It wasn't. It didn't. It was just a lot of telling you to care about things that it didn't bother developing. And if you're gonna make a movie on a subject like that, and you're going to pretend like that it's this horrible thing that happened, then you shouldn't sugarcoat it. You should just make a different movie. I would have the exact same issue if 12 Years a Slave wasn't brutal and graphic and honest. That's one of the amazing things about 12 Years a Slave, is that it took an event, it took a story that's supposed to get you to feel about the characters, that's supposed to make you look at it and go like, holy crap, what happened to them was horrible. And on a smaller scale, we have Room, where we have a single character, and the movie's telling you to feel the same thing. It's telling you, holy crap, these horrible things happened to her and you should feel bad about it. But it didn't show any of it, and it's not like it has to be graphic, but it didn't. It just didn't even develop it. It was done in such a cheesy, sugar-coated way. The villain, like, was this
I didn't-
fucking
It was
cartoon
not
character.
threatening in the least.
Yeah, I
The
mean, like,
mustache
A
twirler.
baby could have beaten him up.
yeah, he almost reminded me of like Lovely Bones Man, where he's just like
Yes.
a cartoon
Oh.
character, with stupid like
Yes.
newspaper clipping, suburban
Have you
evil
seen this
man
man?
villain. Yeah, and it was just so trashy. It was there was nothing special about it, and it was bullshit.
Oh,
Okay.
I meant to ask Mark. Do you still have all your Creed memorabilia in your office?
Yes. Why would I ever get rid of that? The way the office is going to look now, and it's the way the office is going to look when I'm dead. And it's going to be my will that it never gets changed. They're going to have to remove that section of the house out if they ever
do you want to?
model.
Would you like to be buried with your Scott Stapp
Yes.
body pillow?
1,000 times, yes. Stop asking this. First off, I'm gonna have the larger body pillow underneath me, and then his face on top of my face.
They'll bury him with arms wide open.
Yeah.
A special crucifix casket.
And a Scott Stapp body pillow on each limb. Just like keep me nice and.
And back then, I used to think that Creed and Pearl Jam were the same band.
What? That's funny.
Because they sing exactly the same, and so I got confused. And I was like, wait, there's two bands?
Like Eddie Vedder's solo work, though. He's a nice solo man. Into the Wild. That was a great song.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah. Very, very good.
That's 2007, isn't it?
Yeah. That was my favorite movie for the longest time, and it makes me not want to see
Oh, wow.
The Wild or whatever the fuck it was called.
With Reese Witherspoon?
Yeah.
But that's not the same, though.
I know.
Like, it's not
I
even the
know,
same.
but that makes me not want to see it because it's like
Okay.
It's pretty bad.
because I feel like I've seen the
Okay,
better
well, I
version.
haven't seen
already.
it yet, but I'll be watching it soon because I'm doing my 2014 list. Hey, Dad.
Dang it.
You really don't need to see it. Okay.
Well,
I mean,
I'll if I
Yeah.
if I decide in
It
the
is
first 20
beautiful.
minutes that it's not going to make my list, then I'm going to
Mhm.
skip through it anyway. So you don't have to worry. I'll still see it. It's not. There's a lot of things that I'm watching for my 2014 list that I probably really don't need to see, but it's a matter of at least just trying it out and seeing
Yeah.
what it is before I abandon it, so that I don't make mistakes of overlooking something that could.
I think
Giving everything a fair shake.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a shit poster, so like I went
Yeah?
on to the Okay, sorry. But I went on to the trailer for that movie, and I wrote I liked it better when the title had "Into the" in it, and people went nuts. They're like, "Fuck you! This actually happened!" And I was,
Oh no.
yeah, like that's your response. Okay,
That's
yeah.
most people's responses.
It's like, fuck
is-
you, this actually happened to this woman. It's like, so did the story of Into the
Yeah.
Wild, the Alexander Supertramp. Like, fuck you, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
It's just great. I love how easy it is to troll people on YouTube. It takes no effort.
Mark's a bully.
I am a bully. And I'm fat and have no friends.
Big bully.
Kicking over sand.
You and Adam are just acquaintances.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just live here.
He's my employee. We're not friends. It's just a charade. It's for the gaming channel. Those are our characters. Not real.
It's all an act.
Yeah, I feel like we're in a really like shitty place with popular media right now, where everything is like sequel, remake, true story,
Comic.
Disney, Marvel, Star Wars crossover, stupid.
Vomit.
Well,
Shorthand vomit.
What is the word? Spin-off. Yeah, so like connecting universes and all this bullshit. And then the fifth one, the
Reboot? Or did you say
fifth
that?
common thing that we see in theaters now is
Recognizable name.
Nostalgic fan service.
Oh yeah.
Fuller House, Jurassic World, Blade Runner 2, like
Gem and the
Blade Runner 2 is
Holograms.
probably going to be good. Hopefully, we'll see. But there's such a focus on nostalgia now. Now that like the millennials have the buying power, literally everything is just catering towards this. Like, hey, remember this shit when you were younger, when you just sat in front of the TV all day and we brainwashed you?
Yeah.
All back. See if we can
Only
make
90s
Actually-
kids will get this.
Actually, speaking of that, I heard recently the most 90s explosion bullshit whatever thing that's happening. The Nicktoons movie. You guys heard about that?
Oh yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I wasn't even aware of this.
The guy from Napoleon Dynamite's like directing it.
Yeah. Oh,
Peter, the actor or the director from Napoleon Dynamite?
The
the
actor
direct.
from.
No, the director.
The director
from
is-
Napoleon
Oh, I
Dynamite.
thought it was
Yeah.
the actor.
Well, the director
Jared
of Napoleon Dynamite has never made a good movie outside of Napoleon Dynamite. So
Yeah.
Nacho Libre, it was so good.
I only remember about Nacho Libre is that my mom watched it and never looked at her the same ever again.
There's so many movies where it's like my mom liked it, and that's why it's bad. It's
not that's why
No,
it's
no,
bad.
I
It's
know,
just
I
that's
know,
why
I know.
it leaves a stain on my brain.
You know what I was gonna say about The Room? I was gonna say the most insulting thing I could say about
Room.
it is it's a movie my mom would like.
Yeah,
and
it's a mom movie.
Yeah.
Room is a mom movie.
Despite the implications of
And, like, the
horrible
whole-
things, my mom will go, "Oh, I enjoyed that, and I didn't feel anything." Like,
Yeah, exactly.
it's like, I'm not upset.
It's a sugar-coated way of like having
That was
having a
nice.
movie that's marketed towards people that could never handle thinking about or experiencing any
stress.
sort of like real pain. People that really want
Yeah.
a babied down dumb version of like a traumatic event so that they can feel like, oh yeah, she made it out of this okay. People that are already like just so fragile that that's all they need to experience the trauma.
I'd love to put on a movie just as a social experiment. I'm saying that, but it's more like a prank. Where it's like you put on a movie that lulls somebody into like this like false sense of security. They're like, oh, that was a nice, like you put on like The Land Before Time. It's like, yeah, I got another cartoon. It's this little cartoon from Japan. It's called Berserk, and you just, like, and like just like film them, get their
Have you-
reaction grow.
Show him Chrono
Yeah.
Trigger.
Like tell.
Don't post it on YouTube.
Like,
Did you guys
like-
ever see how many Too Many Cooks?
Yes.
Too many
Amazing.
cooks.
I think
So-
everybody's seen
Something like that. Where
Yeah.
It's like, oh, what is this? And it just gets crazier.
Turns
and
into
crazier
something else.
and crazier.
I was thinking I could buy the intellectual property rights to Alvin and the Chipmunks, and then release a new movie and pretend like it's more of the same, and then like just halfway through the movie it turns into like a Quentin Tarantino movie, the same characters and everything, and they just
The
start
fat
like,
chipmunk is the only
like,
one that lives.
murdering each other and doing drugs and like all this gore and
Bring out Jam. Just like,
and then I've destroyed the minds of millions of American children. Scarred them forever.
I love it how many parents took their kids to the Watchmen because it was a superheroes movie, and then afterwards they're like,
that would've been
Really?
great.
I didn't even
Yeah.
know that happened.
yeah. I remember reading like a little.
Your
like,
mic's really
poem
quiet, by
or
the way.
Something like that, where like a bunch of angry mothers were pissed off because like knew it was rated R, but they're like, it's a superhero movie. How bad can
That's
it really
really funny.
be? You know? And then like giant blue penis.
yeah,
Which is like probably the least harmful thing shown in the movie, but
pretty
Oh,
much.
then those like
Sex scene in the spaceship.
the sex
Almost
scenes.
racing, like
Yeah, like
that was the sex scene in the spaceship was kind of stupid. I thought-
Honey, look
Like-
away.
Why did they have to use
Watchmen,
Leonard
like-
Cohen's Hallelujah for that? Oh.
No.
That's-
Sorry, I've always
Oh yeah, it was like my friend. He went to the movie theaters with his dad, and his mom and his little sisters, and they saw the girl with the dragon tattoo.
oh no!
And he was like looking at his family like,
Like, I didn't know this was in here.
That's so funny.
I can't outdo that, but I have something that's almost as bad. That same movie, First Date with a girl.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
It
I,
says salute.
Think. It was pretty. It was a
Hey.
great drive home.
Whenever my family is watching movies, I'm not allowed to choose it anymore because I want I just said oh yeah I got I got a musical. It's really cool, and I put on Dancer in the Dark.
Oh no. I find that I have to kind of try to imagine what I think my parents would like out of a movie before I suggest something to watch with them. There's
The
certain things where
Smurfs
I'm just like,
movie?
yeah, I wouldn't watch it. Sorry?
The Smurfs.
First movie is an example.
Yeah.
Like,
First movie.
Go good.
sorry.
You know, yeah, because when I saw The Revenant, I was like, wow, it's so incredibly violent that my mom would not be able to handle it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm glad I saw this movie and I didn't see it with my mom because I almost, if the movie was out when I was visiting him for Christmas, I probably would have said, let's see this movie. I was like, great, I didn't take my mom to that movie. And then later my dad texts me asking me about The Revenant because I guess I had already told him about it because I was saying that I hoped it was in theaters when I was visiting him over Christmas, and I guess maybe he also saw my review posted, and now it's had all the Academy Awards and all this hype and all these trailers and marketing and stuff, and it looks like a really good movie and it's a really marketable movie and really a movie that a lot of people seem to be interested in. So my dad's like, "Oh yeah, we want to see The Revenant," and then I text him back. I'm like, "Yeah, it's great, but it's probably way too violent for mom." And he's like, "I just won't tell her that." So yeah, it's kind of funny. He knows the exact same thing where it's like there's certain things that she's just not gonna be able to handle, but I guess he's lived with her for so long that it's like he's like, "Well, I want to see the movie, so."
Yeah. That's the thing I guess I'd hate about having kids or like that because we would limit what movies they get to see. Like they get
It
to
doesn't have to.
But no, I would be like my dad where I'd drag a little babby me into Alien
Drive.
or something or Alien 12 by that or something or Prometheus 7 to go see it because I mean I want to see it and fuck my kid whatever.
You want to fuck your kid?
Yeah.
Oh,
Gotta pay the troll toll if you want to get in this boy's hole.
Quote Mark 2015. I want to see it and fuck my kid.
Have your cake and eat it
Get
too.
out of here.
Go back to
You're
Calgary.
banned, Mark.
From a band.
Nice.
My dad, I remember growing up and watching, my dad, I get Starship Troopers, and I was like, my goodness, this is awesome. And I was like, I think I was 10 or 9.
Can I get
Classic
some
movie.
boiled
It's not
dumpling,
even
please?
that violent.
Just the
It's
part.
not.
Troopers isn't even that graphic or anything. But
It's
it would
not,
scare me
but,
as a
like,
kid. If I watched that
you
when I was younger, that would probably scare me.
You think about it, and you're like, wow, my dad let me watch some pretty fucking awful movies.
Yeah.
I think I think I turned out pretty okay.
I think having it open
Yeah.
mind is the best policy when it comes to movies. Like you're if you I will only watch certain films because I want to and from say violence or certain genres or like that, you're really oh I won't watch
Mark, I think your mic's cutting in and out, man.
Yeah.
What about mine?
Yours is
mine's
fine,
fine.
Adam. Yeah, yours is okay.
Okay, is this alright? Am I still cutting
So
in and out?
cutting in and out as in
You're okay now. You're okay now, I'm pretty sure.
You're
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah, he's
They cut him off because he wants to fuck kids and watch
Exactly. YouTube found out, and they're like, "We gotta shut off that mic." Hacked us. Yo, we've been hacked, guys.
the
Glitch
Illuminati.
just tight.
So what I was saying is if you're somebody who watches things and say what you want about anime, but if you say outright, I'm gonna cut myself off. I'm never gonna watch a single anime film or series or something just because it is what it is and I don't like it. at
You're
face
depriving
value.
yourself.
You're missing out on things
Yeah.
like or
Yeah.
any Studio Ghibli film, or
Yeah, exactly.
was it Ju-on the Wolf Brigade or something like that, which is an
Yeah.
amazing film. That's
I thought it was like
an anim-
Rojin or something. I don't know.
I don't know how to pronounce it. Ju-on? No, that's
It's not Ju-on. That's the
No, that's the Grudge.
I'm saying that's an anime. That's an anime. No. Sorry. Looking up the name.
Cory in the House.
Cory in the House. That's a good anime. Well, like no, yeah, but you're cutting yourself off, and you do the same when it comes to certain ratings or content that's in like material.
Well,
that's
yeah,
in
with
the movie.
anime in particular, it's like Death Note is something that even if you don't like anime, you should like Death Note.
Yeah.
It's not a very anime type story. It's a story that it might as well not be anime.
Yeah.
If there's ever like an
Gateway.
intellectual property that I would love to make a movie out of, and obviously it would never be for my first film. If I had like a $100 million+ budget and it was like studio backed and had like a bunch of big name actors and people that I could work with in the industry, and a studio gave me the rights to something that I could turn into a movie, it would be Death Note. That would be my preference.
Can I ask you something? If you're gonna direct it, I think the biggest like hurdle is it has such a great story, but there's one thing that kind of puts it slightly over the edge, which is kind of like might be weird for people, especially like even just the anime itself. But what
Without
would you
spoiling
do with
it.
Well,
Are you talking about the part where I say the series gets worse after that part?
no.
Oh, okay.
The Shinigamis.
Oh, what about them?
Well, like how would you handle that?
Well, I mean, like they would have to be. I would have to do a bunch of tests and see what worked best. But I'm assuming that if this like theoretically, hypothetically ever happened at any point, it would have to be in like at least 10 years from now. And I would assume that computer animation will only have gotten so much better. And it would the Shinigamis would have to be used in kind of like a sparing sort of way.
Yeah.
It wouldn't want to be like, I think that the Japanese movie kind of did it really kind of poorly.
Yeah.
You know? And I mean, Japanese computer animation has never been that good. Whenever you watch a Japanese movie and it has computer animation, and it's like they always take the cheap route every time. They never do anything that's like fantastic computer animation for
Do you think
whatever
that's the
reason.
resources, or do you think just they actually are cheap?
I think it's the budget. I think they just don't spend as much money on it. Because I saw one of the 2014 movies that I watched was that Takashi Miike one where all the kids are in school and they have to do this stupid death game, and there was a lot of CG in that. I'm just like, ugh.
Battle Royale?
So bad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
kind of.
sounds like
It's
it.
not Battle Royale, but it's. Anyway, the Shinigami, I think it would be like the least of my concerns. I think the majority of what
Would you reimagine how they look?
would I reimagine how they look? I would try to keep it as faithful as possible to the actual show. Okay. I wouldn't want to take like I wouldn't want to change it in the show into something that it's not, and I wouldn't want to like give myself way too much artistic liberty when it comes to changing things. I would want to make a movie that's like for the fans, and obviously I'd reference a lot from the original manga, but I would want to make it faithful to the actual source material and to the show. And the show is what I'm a fan of, and I feel like the Japanese movie did not do that at all. I feel like the Japanese movie was a piece of shit,
So good.
and it did not capture the same tone or feeling or anything. And I feel like the directing particularly of the show, like even at the very beginning with that like really long shaky shot through the tunnel and that choir music like and like it's going through this tunnel into like the demon world. I would love to capture like that exact same sort of like shakiness, like almost kind of earthquake effect, but do something that's like live action or even CG for that shot. I would love to have the same tone and kind of filming style reflected in a professional live action movie, because there's so much that they do with that show stylistically that I think would really, really benefit having it in a live action format. Like a lot of the I don't know. I feel like I would even try to imitate some of the anime styles of like having the weird angles and like parts of the screen cut out and then like silent shots of or shots of characters like frozen in time as their thoughts are kind of like narrating in their head. That one might be a little cheesy, so I'd have to see if that works or
Well,
not.
Scott
but-
Pilgrim did a pretty decent
Yeah,
job of
that
that.
that too actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Scott Pilgrim was really good for
Scott
that.
Program.
Now, Adam, I have one question for you though. If
Yeah.
you were able to, would you want Ryuk to be manifested in through CG, or would you want it to be kind of where it's just inside his head from his perspective when he's talking to another character?
Well, I wouldn't want him to never be visible, if that's what you're wondering. I feel like there might be like a happy medium approach to Ryuk. I feel like if there were enough talented people involved that we could take an approach similar to like Guillermo del Toro, where there's a lot of it's still physically there and there's makeup and everything, but there's CG layers added over top of it. I think it would work a lot better than just completely fabricating everything out of computer animation. When you have something to kind of enhance or polish with CG.
It actually, like, even just from a effects standpoint, I think it would actually be really good to get somebody who has the right body type, get them in an
I
actual
know it's like a
costume,
human body.
and
Well,
then
agree.
you could literally from like their collarbone or like that, like the kind of like open skin or like that part would just literally be green screen, or at least they'd have like some sort of facial, like almost like a morph suit and mask.
Well, yeah, I
And-
mean you could achieve a lot of it with makeup. You could achieve a lot of it. With
yeah,
makeup.
like that part you could at least CG, or get halfway with makeup and then carry the rest CG if you had to.
Yeah.
There's ways of using CG appropriately to enhance things. Like, as much as everybody complains about it, there are really good aspects of CG. It's
Yeah.
only getting better. So
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would feel like a more whatever approach would look the most realistic. I feel like it would probably be a mistake to completely fabricate the entire character out of CG, like the Japanese movie did. Yeah, I would rather have like an actual actor / like physical performer doing certain things. You know, I'd get Guillermo involved and see if Guillermo wants to help out.
hopefully he doesn't dip.
Yeah.
Sorry, I might have stolen your joke. I'm sorry.
So I'm gonna end the hangout in the next like 20 minutes because that'll be at the like 3-hour mark. I'm kind of sick and I'll just lie back down and drink a bunch of fluids and watch some more 2014 movies or something. So if there's any like questions or anything that anybody wants to ask, then I guess just make sure you ask them in the next 20 minutes because that's when the call's gonna end. Give me a heads up. Hey.
Cricket.
Yeah.
Okay, people in
Those are
people in the chat.
Sorry.
What-
Well, okay.
people
Well,
in-
let's see. Yeah, there's a couple people in the chat.
No, I mean they. Something I've been seeing like through this whole chat is that they kept asking you what you thought of the Stanford prison experiment. If you've seen
I
it.
haven't seen it. I haven't seen One Punch Man either. I bought Space Cop on Blu-ray, but I haven't seen it yet.
Hey.
I have it like literally right here.
Nah,
Nice.
So
I was gonna
I
say,
haven't seen it.
have you heard about what the Fine brothers are doing?
Yeah, we were talking about that at the beginning of the call, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
It's
we
bullshit.
left it with basically just saying to watch the Mega 64 video because it's really funny.
It's a very good parody.
Oh, is that the animated one?
No,
Or
that's Psychic Pebbles,
oh, okay.
I like
and
how
that's
that
like
video-
3 years old too.
Yeah, that video just suddenly cropped up. He's getting a lot of attention now for it, which is great. If that's the
Yeah.
only positive that's come out of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was calling it back when nobody else was saying it.
Yeah.
But they're greedy assholes.
Milk it like you milk me.
I love Zach. He's got a great sense of humor. I only want to see more out of this guy.
Mm.
Just out of curiosity, I know a lot of YouTubers have made movies, most of them terrible. Are there any actually good YouTube movies? Or people on YouTube who actually make good movies?
Well, I mean,
Space Cop.
well, that's the thing is I haven't seen Space Cop yet, and even then, from what I've seen from the trailer, I wouldn't call it like I doubt I'm gonna walk away from it and say like it was actually great. I think I'm gonna watch it and be like I'm a fan of Red Letter Media and I find the jokes funny and I enjoyed it. But I'm not gonna walk out. I highly doubt that I'm gonna watch it and be like, wow, that's something that I would totally think is just as good if I didn't already love these guys to begin with. You know?
Maybe
I feel like a lot like the best that YouTubers have ever done at this point is made really good fan service movies, but I don't think a YouTuber's ever made like a really good actual movie
Yeah.
or like a YouTube film reviewer.
I was gonna say like maybe Kung Fury.
But
No.
yeah, it's like they didn't. Right now, YouTube's being used as a medium to show your short films and stuff too. So I wouldn't really say like that person was a YouTuber who then made a movie. And even if they were a YouTuber, it's like I'm talking about like film reviewer crew, the film review crowd of like Stuckman, John's, Nostalgia Critic, Red Letter Media, and myself, where there's so many of us that have made like films, but they're really just like dicking around in front of a camera for your fans. And
I wasn't really thinking more
I'd like to see
specifically.
an actual film being made, and I haven't seen Space Cop yet, and I would love to see it, and I'm sure I will enjoy it, but I highly doubt that it's gonna be something that like I would love as much if I didn't already love those guys.
I wasn't specifically thinking just film reviewers. I was thinking like just in general because I know Shane Dawson made a movie. I'm not a fan
Oh
of
yeah, but he's a dumb, stupid idiot.
Yeah, pretty
That
much.
wasn't the most eloquent way of making a response.
Has
I know,
anybody
but-
seen Video Game High School?
Oh, is that the
I
Freddie
saw the
Wong?
first season.
I haven't really seen much
Yeah, I
of
saw
it.
the first season too. I'd say that's like, but these are people who actually went to film school.
Yeah,
These
they're
people
very
that-
talented.
Yeah, they're very competent.
Their
in what they
YouTube
do.
videos are like so far above other YouTube videos too, so
Yeah.
they're very professional.
So like, I'd say that's an example of like do it successfully. But these are people who actually went to school, went through the right channels, and their only involvement with YouTube was like, I don't know how they started out, but it was obviously just kind of like doing little videos and stuff. And they wanted to do
Oh yeah,
more.
I've been watching them for a while.
So they were probably gonna eventually become filmmakers regardless
Yeah.
of YouTube.
They got big by
probably.
making really cool special effects videos, basically.
Yeah.
By not just by having the correct formula of like making a special effects showcase, but at the same time making a funny skit. Having those two things combined to make like really, really marketable, sellable, shareable YouTube videos. Yeah, they're really good at that. But yeah, I mean, like most big YouTubers, they'll make a movie and it's literally just a piece of shit. So.
No, I was gonna ask you, would you ever want to meet like H3H3 Productions?
Oh, of course. Yeah, I'm friends with him and I hang out with him on Twitter and stuff. So.
Okay. Imagine if they made a movie with like Filthy Frank. I wonder what that would be like.
But again, it's like
That would be fun.
there's the most what YouTube is made up of, since it's a medium where literally anybody can just show up on YouTube and share themselves to the world and maybe get watchers, maybe not. A significant amount of people on YouTube and people who get famous off of YouTube are famous for their personalities and for their humor. That is not the same as filmmaking. So,
Yeah.
whereas, like, if we were back on the previous medium of television, and we were talking about, like, oh, people have television shows, people make television shows, and then maybe they can make a movie, right? There's probably a way higher of a chance that someone who made a television show and is directing and involved in the creative process of a television show could then go on to make a movie, because they're basically the same thing. Whereas with YouTube, you could be famous off of YouTube like Shane Dawson, off of just sitting in front of a camera and pretending as though you're playing different characters by putting on makeup, right? And then you try and make a movie, and then when it doesn't work out, people are like, "Oh, what could have happened? I thought he was so good." And yeah.
You know, here's a question. Are there any YouTubers in that general field, well, not Shane Dawson's field, but just any YouTubers in general that you think could actually pull out a decent movie if they had the resources and everything were perfect for them?
That's a good question. That's a really good question.
I'd really like to see Smosh make a movie.
Ugh.
No.
I'm sorry. I'm really waiting for the Smosh movie. Is what I'm waiting for.
That exists. You know about that, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm just. Yeah.
I've never.
I figured that, but I just.
I tried watching it. No.
It really depends. I really like F&D Films. This skit comedy group that's really underrated. And they have made kind of like film festival films, and they've been all right. But there's been like bits and pieces where I'm like, oh yeah, it's so close to being so good, and then some that will just stray me away from walking out of it saying it was great. But I think they're very close to having something like if they had a bit more resources and a bit more professional of like a crew and everything. Like I think that they could really pull off a really good, funny comedy movie. I think that F&D Films could. And then I guess going past that, there aren't really a lot of people on YouTube that YouTube is more of a medium for comedy than anything else. Because when you make something on YouTube, it's gonna be short. It's gonna be episodic, and chances are you're gonna have a different story every time you do that. That isn't exactly the type of medium that serves itself well for dramas. You're not gonna you don't see like channels on YouTube that are like this episodic drama. Like I guess you see some of them, but they're not that good. Like the people that are really talented at making dramatic and actual like artistic filmmaking, usually they're not making YouTube videos and they just go straight into making short films. And I mean some of those short films make it on YouTube, but I mean they're less for YouTube and more already just in the filmmaking business sort of thing. If there's one person that I would love to have on as like an advisor for making a filmmaking project, I think it would be Tony Joe from Every Frame of Painting, because he's a guy that like I really love what he has to say for like the technical and shot composition aspects of filmmaking, and just using different lenses and the purposes of different props in each scene and staging. And I feel like he has a lot of really great things to say on that, and he's one of those people where like I'm impressed by it, and I really value his input on it. So
if you had Tony as a DP on your film, it's already
or something like that. Yeah.
It's already gonna look good. Like there's.
I have to assume
talent.
that he would be able to apply it in real life.
Yeah, and of course, even if he isn't like doesn't know his way around a camera, he at least knows where it's gonna be positioned and where it's gonna sit and everything. Like all you'd need is somebody who knows how to operate, and then have Tony like advising the whole. Like I feel like something of worth could be made there.
2 questions from the comments. What's my rating for Mean Creek, and could I elaborate on it? I would give it a 7 or an 8, although I haven't seen it in a while. Don't want to elaborate too much on it, but I think the child acting is pretty great, and I think that it is not really like to go with the things that I said earlier about Sugarcoating. I like that it's a movie with a cast that you would assume would be more of a sugarcoaty way of doing that type of story, but I like that it didn't. The other question, somebody asking me about the Tony Tiger Gate, where Tony the Tiger Twitter profile is like begging furries to stop sending him porn.
Wait, what? That's for real?
Yeah, there's like 6 articles that came out about it now, because somehow that's news. It just started with like a few furries just like he would make Tony the Tiger would just tweet something about cereal, And then,
I love it.
yeah, just great, some promotion, and then you'd see a couple furries, and one would say, "Give me cummies, daddy," and then he started blocking furries, and then it became this thing like, and then all of a sudden, all over the furry subreddit, people were like, "Oh my God, Tony the Tiger blocked me," and he started blocking furries that weren't even saying those things. Just like, oh, you have a furry profile blocked, and then he started blocking everybody, and people were freaking out, like, God, and they created this hashtag, Tony Tigergate, and it was newsworthy, and it started showing up on these news websites, and then all of a sudden, people started tweeting the Chester Cheetah mascot from Cheetos, and Chester Cheetah was like, hell yeah, and just playing along with it, and people would be like, oh yeah, you take me, big boy. He's like, whatever you want. They have like the official account for the Chester Cheetah, or the Cheetos
mascot.
Cheetos Cheetah. His name is Chester, though. It's a very big tongue.
Chester the Cheeto.
Chester the Cheeto Cheetah. Yeah.
And so that was the whole thing. And now, like, I mean. It's not newsworthy, and it's not a big deal to begin with, because some people are overreacting about this shit. You can't, you cannot sexually harass a fictional character. Right? There's no crime there. Even if like, oh no, there's some bad words or sexual suggestions going to the guy operating the Twitter account. He doesn't have a name that's publicly available. He's operating the Tony the Tiger Twitter account. So if somebody's like, fuck me, Tony the Tiger, he's not really getting that abuse at all. He's just reading the abuse directed towards the fictional character that he's moderating for. So there's no real like crime or any wrongdoing here on anyone's side. It doesn't matter if he blocks people or not. It's really just a non-issue that shouldn't have been.
I can't wait for the comments where there's like a rape threat that's like been directed towards like somebody in response to like Tony the Tiger, like a fictional character. It's like, you said you're gonna ass rape Tony the Tiger. That's my dream. He's like real jail time for this. That'd be the real serial gate. The real Tony gate.
Yeah, so that happened.
Sorry.
2016.
I'm done.
That literally sounds like a Clickhole story. Like that's.
I know.
Yeah.
It was posted on Not the Onion subreddit too, very recently.
That makes sense.
It does sound like a joke.
Yeah.
Give me cummies, daddy.
I know.
Give me cummies, daddy.
That was my favorite one.
People drawing like Tony the Tiger in like a diaper that's like filled up and shit.
What?
Here's why I think that he shouldn't have like Tony the Tiger shouldn't have even started blocking people, because as soon as you start like mass blocking people, then people are going to talk about it. And it's like if you had like any sense of how social media or the internet works, you'd know that if you specifically went out of your way to say, hey guys, there's this very specific type of tweet you could be sending me that would make me so mad, please don't do it, then of course people are going to send you more. Like, guaranteed, after he started blocking people and after he like after all that news came out, guaranteed like 10 times as many people and or furries decided to start tweeting sexual things at him. Like there's no doubt about it in my mind.
It's the Streisand effect.
It's a stupid way to respond to it. You're begging more attention to come to you, whether you think you're doing that or not. And B, if Tony the Tiger is doing that for the sake of like, oh no, there could be kids reading these tweets, the minimum age to have a Twitter profile is 13. So it's really a non-issue.
Everybody lies.
There's nobody under 13 on Twitter, and if they are, then they're not abiding by Twitter's terms of service.
You're breaking the law.
I mean,
You're 13 and don't know what cummies are.
yeah, exactly. Like,
Welcome to the internet.
the internet, you just have to. You can't pretend to be family friendly on the internet. It's just there's no point anymore. There's no point. I don't like I have the option on my Twitch channel to set it to for mature audiences, but I don't feel like ever doing that because I'm like, I don't give a shit. You know, if I'm playing, if let's say I have my channel on Twitch and I'm allowed to say it's not for mature audiences, but at the same time play a mature rated game, then there's no point of ever saying it's for mature audiences if that's standard by playing a mature rated game and not having it automatically say that. So why would I want to potentially have less viewers? It doesn't matter. You have to be like 13 or older to be on Twitch anyway. Kids are gonna get past it.
It kind of seems like Twitch is trying to make it to where the streamers have to be like liable for what happens to.
I don't really know. I don't think anybody's seriously enforcing that. I think that's just kind of like a peace of mind thing. I think that's for people who like are afraid that kids are watching their stream.
It's for the kids whose moms ask for the manager.
I really doubt any of this shit's happening, honestly. I mean, nobody gives a shit. Nobody gives a shit. People are desensitizing themselves to these things. The internet is like, give it like 40 years and nobody's gonna give a shit. Right now, there's old people that give a lot of a shit,
Can't
and
wait
like
till they're
regressives, and that's it.
Yeah.
Old people and regressives. All right, we got 5 more minutes before I'm gonna end this call.
How's your new place?
It's great. We finished doing all the cleaning and repairs and shit earlier this month. So it's been a long journey, and it's been a very painful journey, but it's worth it.
Oh yeah, I got a question. With like the shitstorm going on at YouTube in the moment, like, have you been affected by it, along with like all the other channels that have been like?
So I actually had a Skype conversation with Channel Awesome and the Nostalgia Critic about a week ago before they went public. And it's my understanding that basically what's happened is something changed in YouTube's system where older unresolved claims are now basically, if you have enough of these unresolved claims, then they start negatively impacting your account in ways that they can stop your monetization. So similar things have happened to me in the past where, and when I tried to sign up on with Freedom Network in 2014, yeah, the beginning of 2014, when I tried to sign on with Freedom, it wouldn't let me because I had X amount of unresolved claims, and even though none of them were actual takedown notices, like theoretically I should have been fine. But since there were so many of them, like there was just the magical number of them, and they were X amount of days or years old, then it was affecting my account, and it was like basically I had a strike even though I technically didn't. So that kind of happened to me before, even though it never really took down my monetization. But what's happening to other YouTubers right now is very similar, in the sense that it seems to be the exact same kind of thing that's triggering it in a way. But now it looks like it's affecting their monetization, where it's like literally just disallowing them to be able to monetize videos at all. What they were saying, which I'm not gonna get too specific about it because they did it was a private call, but one thing that I'm careful of on my channel is to make sure that every single claim that exists is taken care of and that there are none that are unresolved. And what they wound up doing, which even if they did this, still YouTube shouldn't punish them for it. But they had videos that had unresolved claims that they had deleted. So since they had deleted those videos, instead of actually going through the process of resolving those claims and fighting those claims, YouTube still counts those as claims, and they can never actually resolve those claims because the videos are deleted. And that's why I was saying to you, Mark,
Wow.
your whatever Clockwork Orange video, never delete a video that has a copyright claim on it, because it's not like, oh, deleting it will fix the video, there's no claim on my account now. No, it's still there. It's still there even if it's not a strike, and it'll negatively impact your account if you don't go through the proper means of disputing it, appealing it, and counter notification, etc. It's really annoying. And right now, Channel Awesome's like in talks with YouTube to try and see if they can do something better with the system. Like the attention has been gotten, is the impression at this point, is that YouTube, well, somebody from YouTube is paying attention, I guess. But I mean, this has happened a million times. My channel got taken down at one point. I Hate Everything's channel got taken down not too long ago, and there's always somebody from YouTube that winds up jumping in after everybody causes a shitstorm about it. But it just keeps happening, so nothing's really been fixed is the problem. Is that they haven't fixed the core of the issue, which is how these claims are being handled and resolved, and what kind of powers the claimants have over the videos. So, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, basically, just make sure that you do not delete videos that have open claims on them, because that is the worst. Because then you can't actually resolve them.
I actually think I've done that before. There was a video where I used a copyrighted song and I deleted it.
Yeah, so that's basically what's happening right now. Is that something changed in YouTube's system that is making it so that the amount of unresolved videos that could trigger something like that is less. So that's my understanding of what's happening.
Forgive me for asking, but yeah, I don't suppose you have a specific like number or like a certain level amount of unresolved claims. I'm a YouTuber too, and I know I have a few videos that have unresolved claims, so I'm wondering if I need to jump on those right away, or like is it?
Well, I would take care of them as soon as they're there. It's not very often, but right now I actually have no claims on my channel, which is amazing.
Nice.
But I'm also a managed partner on a multi-channel network, which means that I no longer get affected by Content ID because of that special status. So I don't get scanned anymore. So the only claims that I wind up getting are manual claims, where the claimant actually has to know that my video exists, find it, and then click the buttons to actually issue a manual claim, instead of it being done automatically. So that's why I'm getting a lot less now. Totally worth being on a network. That's pretty much the only reason I would ever be on a network, is for that. It's totally worth it, 100%. So I don't even have any claims or unresolved claims right now. Like literally everything on my channel, like I have the cleanest channel that anyone could have right now. But if you have any like copyright or anything, I would just deal with them as soon as possible. And if you only have 2 of them, just do them like one at a time, because you want to make sure that you save space in case during the ridiculously lengthy process of fighting those claims, in case you get another claim on a more important video, you want to make sure that you have, you want to
avoid the 3 strikes.
Yeah, exactly. You want to avoid having 3 open counter notifications, or 3 open appeals. Sorry.
Yeah.
Because any one of those appeals could come back as a strike. So, yeah, if you only have two disputes, I would say file the dispute on whichever one of the videos is getting more views. That's how I prioritize them. I always do it by which one has more views or which one's more popular or whatever. I start with those ones, and then when the whole process for that thing is done, who knows? It could take a couple days. They might just release it right away. It could take 3 months if they decide to be stubborn about it. But and then after that, just do the second one. And that way, if another video of yours gets flagged, or you need to fight it in some way that's more important than the second one in your video manager, then you'll still be able to do 2 at once without having the third appeal being used.
Okay, thank you. That's very, very great advice. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah.
YouTube.
What?
I was just gonna say, like, YouTube is just pretty much like fucking a theme park food. It's shit, and you have to wait for a long time, and it's kind of pointless. But then again, right now, it's the only reasonable option we have.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is what it is.
It's the infrastructure that it would take to create an actual competitor to YouTube is so large that you'd have to be a company like Google to do it. The
Yeah.
problem is that, right, like you in the amount of money that it would take to host all these videos is insane. YouTube doesn't even really make money right now. They spend as much money on YouTube as they make on money. They're not really profiting off YouTube, despite all this money, right?
Yeah.
Despite YouTube being like the #1 entertainment medium right now, they're not really making money off of it. And I think maybe hopefully YouTube Red will change that, because they're clearly making more money off of the idea of doing a subscription-based service with no ads, that they would be able to make a profit off of it with that, I believe. So hopefully that changes things. Somebody asked my favorite albums of 2015. I don't know. I have no idea. If one of the Wolfpack albums came out in 2015, then that's my answer. But I've been a bit behind on music, honestly.
Music's overrated.
I've been the two albums that I've been listening to the most in 2015 are not from 2015, but the Slim Shady LP and the Marshall Mathers LP. I've gotten back into them when I was moving. Those were my go-to albums that I just kept on loop. But anyway, final questions, comments. Somebody's asking if if I had to, would I whore myself to women as a gay? Well, that's not a really good question, because
What?
well, because I mean, if the qualifier for the question is if I had to, then the answer is yes, because I had to. But if I had the choice, then my answer would be no. So, I mean, if I had to, and then literally
You
any
probably
person
had
on the
to.
world
Yeah.
if I had to, then yes, my answer is yes. But if I didn't have to, then you're asking a real question.
If you had to, would you enjoy it?
Mark, if you had to,
Wait, I had to, right?
yeah, Mark, if you had to, would you rape a small baby in the same way as a Serbian film?
Okay, why would you hate it then? I mean, if you gotta do it, you gotta do it. It's like a job.
You might as well enjoy it.
Sometimes you gotta enjoy your work. Sometimes you gotta, like janitors, they sweep up shit. Is that any worse than raping a small child?
No.
Really? No.
If you had to. If you had to, would you do it?
If you had to, would you do it? I'm trapped.
If you had to do it, would you do it?
I'm trapped in this question. Ah!
I think I'm gonna start asking people questions like that.
If you had to, would you rape a baby?
No, I would never do that. No, but if you had to do it, would you do it? Just keep
You'd like start running and you'd be like, no, you have to, you have to.
But if you had to do it.
Funny.
Oh, it's like people are like Coke or Pepsi, and then they'd be like yes or no. It's like yes or no to what?
I'm
Coke or
just
Pepsi?
imagining like a Fox News correspondent chasing down Bernie Sanders. But if you had to rape a small child, just like literally running after him, trying to get the one quote, just like, please say it, please say it. Yes, I guess I would have to if I had to rape a small child. I guess I would have to. News just in. Bernie Sanders is planning on raping a small child. I would do it.
Is this part of his Marxist agenda? Oh, I hate it. It's great.
I'm being asked if I'm doing Q&As again at some point. I don't know. These have kind of turned into Q&As also. Yeah. So I don't know I don't really know if I'll ever do it like the Q&As that I used to do. Because I mean, sorry?
Those are very time-consuming.
They turned in everything that I've ever done on YouTube has been something that started out simple and then I just wound up putting more and more effort into it as they went along, and then they wound up being extremely time-consuming. So if you look at the old Q&As, it's literally just me reading off a piece of paper and then just answering questions. And then the Q&As turned into like, okay, I'm going to screen cap everybody's comment, I'm going to put it up there, and I'm going to read it, and I'm going to have these titles and change that and have all these different videos and like everything that I wind up doing. And then it's just like, once you start doing it that way, then it's like, I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back into putting less effort into something. And that's why my reviews just keep taking longer and longer to make too, is like, I just keep transforming things into these things that take longer and longer. You look at like the way I used to do quickies, it was just me coming out of a theater talking in a car. Oh, I like how we're on this how we started talking about the Fine Brothers and how they tried to like copyright the format of React videos.
Yeah.
When if anybody remembers, not too long ago, CinemaSins pretty much did the same thing. When Screen Junkies did their "I'm gonna talk in a car on the way back from a movie" thing, CinemaSins like made this entire like crying, like not crying, but this entire like emotional, really whiny video being like, I thought these guys were my friends. They made a video of them talking in a car about a movie right after they saw it, and that was my thing. And these guys are clearly stealing from me. And then all of CinemaSins' rabid fans like went after the Screen Junkies guys and downvoted the video to hell until like eventually he wound up apologizing for it. Just like, because what the fuck? You could go back on my channel and see videos of me talking in my car on the way back from a movie way before CinemaSins did it. Like, how can you claim that that's a format of your intellectual property? It's the exact same thing happening with the Fine Brothers.
It's like a coincidence.
My throat's killing me because I've been talking this whole time, and I'm very sick. So I'm gonna go. Thank you all. Thank you all for showing up, and thank you all for being my wonderful, awesome, lovely patrons.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Love you too, Adam.
4 more years. Yeah, thanks everybody for dropping by. Thanks everybody in the chat who participated. Sunday stream tomorrow. My voice is probably going to be even more dead by that point, but yeah, we'll be doing some video games. I don't know, we might do some Mass Effect and The Witness. I don't know what else we might do. But I downloaded The Witness, so we'll see about that one. $43. We'll see if it's worth it. Anyway,
Wow.
Yeah.
Stupid
It is.
So,
game.
if we do the math, everybody in this Patreon call paid for that game. So thank you, thank you, and my rent and my food and all that. But
Yeah.
thank you very much. Yeah, thank you guys. Bye bye.
Thanks, Adam. See you, man.